Hello, everyone. We're here again. It's Wednesday, and this is episode 111. Yes. And as usual, Delboy's here with me, and we'll just get on with it. Um, what have you been watching, and what has come in, and anything that you want to
Yeah, well,
mention?
it's been a bit eclectic, but we were just talking just now about Spider-Man Noir, and I'm up to the same episode as you, really, in watching it.
Mhm.
Even though all 8 episodes are available pretty much from day one, it's been a bit of a busy week and all that sort of stuff for me. So I've only got up to episode 6, but there's only 2 episodes to go. Though it won't take me longer than an hour and a half to get through those 2 episodes, and it'll be finished. And so far, I've just got to say I've really enjoyed it. I just think it's been a show that I thought was going to be. It could have easily have been awful, and it ended up being a surprise, and that's good. I like surprises that are good. Don't like surprises that are bad, really, that much, even though they have their place. So, getting that out of the way, what have I watched this week? Well, again, I've watched a bit of TV. So I watched the other night, The Damned United.
Oh,
Uh,
ah,
I really like that film. I've seen it a lot of times. I like films that sort of like remind me of my childhood. My dad would have been talking about Knott's Forest a little bit, so I'd have known, quite an awful lot, about everything that went on in the Damn United. I think most people know what I'm talking about with the Damn United. Brian Clough and his tenure,
yeah, at least.
if you
Hey.
want to call it, that, a very famous football team that happened to have a manager just before him that was beloved. They say beloved, but I
He
don't know
was.
too
He
much
was back Leeds fans
as an
like us.
England manager.
Yeah.
Um,
He-
was it Ramsey?
yeah. Alf
Yeah,
Ramsey.
yeah.
Um, yeah, winner at England winning manager, and it didn't work out for Don Revie as
No,
manager.
no, no, no.
Yeah,
Don
it
Revy,
didn't
yeah,
work out at all.
Don Revy, yeah, that was it.
It just
And
didn't work out.
and the thing about that is there's some standout performances in that, but I really do like um Brian Clough's trainer, his long-term friend.
Oh, what was his name? Taylor. I've forgotten his
Yeah,
first name. He was at Derby County, and they were
yeah,
at Nottingham Forest together.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
they show you all the pictures at the end of what they actually look like, and I'm just going,
yeah.
well, it's not that far off, really. They
Uh,
didn't do too badly. Anyway, The Damn United. So obviously that's a great film. Really enjoyed my time watching that again, but I always do.
have you got it
And
on physical media?
I think I have, but I
Yeah,
haven't
I
checked.
have. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah.
I on TV again. Blade Runner 2049 was on, and I just always get pulled in when it's on. I
Yeah.
can miss the first 10 minutes, and I'll watch the rest of it. It's one of those. I could be an hour and a half in, and it'll get to the bit with Harrison Ford, and I'll watch it from there. I don't care. I know what's happened. So that there's nothing to say about that. It's some of the people that's in the chat right now's favorite film, so that's great. Now here's an old film that you might have seen that was on last night, and it was
Mm-hmm.
called Blonde Fist,
No,
and
I've
it
got it.
stars
Yeah.
Margie Clark.
Oh, is it a boxing film?
Well, sort of. She's in prison for the first part of it,
I've not
and she
seen
wants
it.
to
But
go and visit her estranged dad, who's in New York,
all right.
and he
Yeah.
used to be a bare knuckle boxing
All
boxer.
right.
So that's why it's called Blonde Fist.
Yeah.
Margie Clark is an intriguing person because I recognize her more from TV, I think, than I do films. And this one screams Channel 4 production in 1991 type thing, like a handmade films type thing that nobody went to the cinema and saw, but they probably saw it on sell through or
Yeah.
straight to video or whatever. And it was on, and I really, really liked it. It's obviously a Liverpool and New York joint venture because they did film in New York. and it was just a really, really nice film to watch, and I really, really liked it. It was very gritty, but it's not gritty like Scum or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's she wants her child back, so she gets out of where she's been put incarcerated. She goes over the fence, and then she manages to get over to New York and all of that sort of stuff. It's quite good. And so because of the prison aspect of it, you get drawn in because there's bullying going on in prison, and she befriends this person and she sticks up for her and all of this sort of stuff. So anyway, I had a great time with that. And then on Saturday during the morning, a film I've seen before, but not for a long time. It's a film from 1954 called The Angel Who Pawned Her Harp.
All right. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever heard of that one.
No.
But it's almost like It's a Wonderful Life type thing, where an angel comes down and she wants to fix people's problems, but she finds out she's got no money. So she pawns her harp at this pawn shop and then befriends people and starts fixing their problems, but then she needs to, unpawn her harp to go back up to heaven.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a black and white 1954 film, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun. And then, of course, over the course of the last 4 days, BBC 4 have shown the 8-part documentary on Muhammad Ali. Whenever Muhammad Ali is mentioned, I've got to watch it. I remember it used to be on my old Skybox, but my Skybox got destroyed. So when it came back on, I went, "Oh, going to watch it now," because it's one of my heroes, if you see what I mean. And some people might say, "Why is that person still a hero of yours when you know full well he said such nasty things?" All of that sort of stuff. You got to understand it. I watched it in real time, and so I know that he retracted an awful lot of it, and he said himself, in his later years before he died, that should never have said these things. But he also held on to the belief, I wouldn't have made that man so much money if it weren't for the fact I'd bigged him up by saying such nasty things. We made each other legends because I had a big mouth, which which is obviously the truth, isn't it? Because, great stuff, but so that's a lot of stuff just there in itself, but there is some stuff to show, obviously some stuff has come in.
Yeah.
I will, wherever I've got to find the bloody thing again, where I turn the back thing off. Oh, bloody hell. I always have this problem, don't I? Where is it? There it is. Right. So I've got that off. I will get quicker at doing that, So one that I'm not really that enamored about, but I've got all the other ones, is Scream 7 that's come through.
Oh yeah, I've not seen it yet, but
not many people.
Nobody's been that excited about
things,
it.
But not many people say terrible things about it either.
Yeah. Normally I buy it, but I haven't bought it. I thought
when I'm really looking forward to watching again, it's One Battle After Another.
Yeah. Apart from the cover, I quite like it.
Yeah, I know. I find that cover a bit, anybody wants to see the back, that's what that looks like.
Yeah.
And then a shout out to Muckman, even though he doesn't need any advertisement, does he?
Is he in yet?
He's bound sure to be. He mentioned this was going cheap, so I bought it. And that was that Train to Busan trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
And he's even told me what order I ought to watch it in, because not necessarily should I watch it in that order that's on there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Train to Busan is the big one. The other ones on there are not that bad. They're Sequal Station or Sequal, I can't even pronounce it.
Animated one of them is. I think it's animated.
Yes, that's right. The first one, I believe.
Yeah.
And that came through, Do you know what? All 3 films came to just over 20 quid.
It's cheap.
So it wasn't bad. And I was umming and ahhing over it for a long, long time. And the reason for that is because everybody was saying how good Train to Busan was.
There
was a 4K version of it. And I didn't want to. I therefore had a dilemma of having the whole collection in Blu-ray, or just having the one that everybody talks about on 4K, and then I'd be sort of like pining for the other 2.
Yeah, so you went in for
No, I just went down the road of, do you know what? We've been talking about this for a long time, Ian and I, and we've mentioned it many times in here. And that is, it's about the film, and Blu-ray is not a bad format.
No, it's not.
HD looks perfectly good. There are reasons why you buy a 4K, and that's because you want the color and the blacks to be black and the whites to be white and all of this sort of stuff. And Blu-rays sometimes have that wishy-washy, not quite right aspect of it. But if you've never seen the 4K, you'd never know. Would you?
No.
Yeah. And it's not about the packaging and that. So,
and it's like I said, I'm from DVD, isn't it?
So, so I'm not quite sure what I paid for it. I believe it was £20 or less. It could have been less. I'd have to look at the receipt. To me, I just get my card out, pay for it, and then it comes through, and I just go, right. When it was first brought to my attention, I think the money was in dollars. It was $23. It was from Rare Waves.
Oh yeah, they're good site, Rare Waves, and
that's why I'm not quite sure what it was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but when it was pointed out to me, it was definitely in the $21 something or other. Something like that.
So I'd say, that must be, I'd be saying, it's under 20 quid.
Yeah.
I don't know rate. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
It goes up and down.
And the reason it was showing it in dollars, and I'll this is the other reason why I'm turning around and saying, hey, look, I can't quite remember, is I have my VPN on. Now everybody knows what a VPN is.
It's
right? It means it hides my IP, and I've probably selected New York.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
If I've selected New York, then all the money there's going to be shown is going to be in dollars, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it probably was 16 or 17 quid or whatever, but I can't tell because it was showing as dollars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But obviously when you go to the website, it would be you're in the UK and you're, so it's like that. So anyway, that's that. There's no controversy in all of that. I just can't remember what the price was, but it was very cheap. And all I'm saying is big thank you to McMahon. That's twice I've mentioned you in 2 minutes. That's all the advertisement that you need for the whole of this stream, isn't it? So there we go. So it's over to Tony York Corner and the best of Ian Hill, the Ramblings. I've been watching episode 967.
Actually, there is no Tony York Corner this week again. First thing I've just got to mention before I go into it. It was in my what I've watched films video I did, because it was the last one I watched on that thing. But I was surprised how good The Housemaid was. It is a superb film. And I say that I think it is it was good for me because it's a modern film where I think the quality of the story was absolutely amazing, and the acting, and Sydney Sweeney is outstanding in it, and it's a great modern.
It was wee Bob Art that enticed me to buy the steelbook of that.
Yeah, you haven't watched it yet, then? Have you watched it?
I'm trying to remember. Yes, I did, because I remember saying he turned around and said it's a little bit like The Sixth Sense with it probably doesn't have too much of a rewatch value.
Oh, for me, it definitely
no,
does.
but what he means by that is you'll watch it, and you'll watch it again, and you'll be happily to watch it again. It's just that maybe in the same year you won't, but you'll go back to it next year for definitely, and probably other years. But.
And I was pleased to know they're going to do more as well.
Yeah.
Which it's got a lot of things that they could do with it. It's so good.
I know that. I can't mention his bloody name again, and I Muckman. Right, he bought it. He liked it. So there's a couple of people in the room that will be talking about The Housemate because they've seen it. Yeah. And I think a lot of people did turn around and say they liked it. They'll have an opinion on rewatch value. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. It was Wee Bob that turned around to me and said, I think that there might be a question mark over the rewatch value. I watched it, saw the end and went, oh, I like that. Yeah. I don't know whether I want to watch it this month, but I'll tell you what, in 2 months' time down the line, I might go, do you know what? I might watch that again. Yeah. But I've got a ton of so many films to watch now. It'd be pretty bad that I'd be going back to a film. Hey, and everybody be going, what are you going back to that for when you've got all that big lot to watch?
And yeah, I thought I'd just mention it because I was so impressed. Because for me, it's good to get a modern film like that. Because a lot of stuff that I'm into seems to be all old stuff, but it's good to see modern films like that. They can still do them. So the film that I want to talk about that I've watched is this one, which is Birdman of Alcatraz, 1962. Crikey, 1962. So it's a 60s film. It's directed by John Frankenheimer, who I think was very sort of well known for The Manchurian Candidate, which was a brilliant film, conspiracy film, 1962. He also did the Burt Lancaster film, was The Train, 1964, a film that I remember my dad taking me to see, even though I'm not a big fan. The film I enjoyed was Grand Prix, 1966. French Connection 2, wow, 1975 he directed. Black Sunday, that's a really good one as well, 1977. I mean, these are really good films. The Island of Dr. Moreau, 1996. Ronin, 1998. So some really good films there by this director. So it's got Burt Lancaster, Carl Malden, who I think I always remembered, of course, from the TV series. You know,
and of course, there's another big TV series from another actor in there that you're going to come up with in a minute. Go on.
You think so? Yes, there is. You're right. Yeah. I'll mention it. I put him at the bottom, but yeah, I'll have to mention him. But yeah, Carl Malden, I thought, was excellent in this. He's the governor, and he also becomes the head of the sort of running of the prison service as well. And the relationship between those two is very interesting. The fact that it's based on a true story, of course, the life of Robert Stroud is really good. And we've also got, this is the one that you mentioned, I think is worth mentioning, is Telly Savalas.
Yeah.
We got Telly Savalas with hair.
Sort of, wasn't it? I remember that he was dead. He was dead, sort of like really against the birds, but then he got one of himself, and then he got sick, and he was really upset, and he was going up to him and saying, "My bird's dying. What am I going to do?" I just remember. I thought it was a pretty good performance, actually.
Yeah, it is. It is a good performance. He's quite a good. Yeah, it's very good. That is a pivotal moment in the film, isn't it? When they built up all the birds, everybody's into them, and then the sickness comes, and how is he going to cure it? You know, this is amazing stuff. I think what's extraordinary about this film is that it just shows you that, in many ways, how there's a lot of people who, when they're put in certain circumstances, they really stretch themselves into do and are capable of doing extraordinary things, because effectively he learns all about birds, and it's all self-educated, and he becomes like you could say he becomes like a professor, really, as an
Yeah.
academic. He becomes so well thought of in his field, and that is amazing. And of course, the other tragic thing is, of course, when it comes to the point when he gets told that he has to move prisons, and also that the birds are taken away from him. You think, oh, that's the end of the film, but it isn't quite the end of the film,
Mm-hmm.
because then we get a bit more about what he did afterwards, and it's just an amazing story, and his relationship with his mum as well is interesting. And he marries this woman as well, and his mum is really jealous. She doesn't like it. Somebody else getting in the way. There's some great stuff in this film. Burt Lancaster, what I've read about it is he was very much a pet project of his, getting this together with the people involved once he'd read the book. And don't forget, when this was filmed, he was alive. This man.
But I think there was a bit of controversy, though, wasn't there, Ian? Because when it came out, I think some of them turned around and said, "But what you got to remember is that this guy was in Alcatraz for a reason. He was not a nice man."
They had all that. That's true. I mean, his crimes were pretty bad, were very bad. So you're right. But it's interesting, isn't it? It's a good film, even if you can look at it from various angles. Burt Lancaster, it's a film that you remember always, because I first saw this when I was quite young on the TV, and it made an impact straight away. So I'm really glad I've got this in my collection now. It's a film that I can watch again and enjoy, because I really.
I told you I was dead jealous, because I think I've only got the DVD copy of it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got a Blu-ray copy.
And I was lucky because it's out of print, but I'm sure it'll get a re-release.
Just a quick mention, because Dennis had to fly in and fly out. He's put hi, Delaney, and just saying hello. I'm currently at work, so hello, Denny. If people have to come in and go, I always like to sort of get their comment in, because they can't wait until we get to it. So, by the time that we get to it, he'll be actually finished work, and he'll be actually back in the room.
And we won't have noticed he's gone. Anyhow, there's that one. So what's the next one? All right, this is one that we're going to talk about, and this was a birthday present, and it is, of course.
Oh God,
Doctor Who, the movie from 1996. Crikey, 1996. And it's directed by this bloke called Jeffrey Sachs. Now, when you look at him, he's really a TV director. There's only 3 sort of cinema films that he directed. They're not really ones that I'm that well known. So he's coming from a very TV background, and his career after this is all TV. It really is. It's all TV.
Isn't there a documentary, Ian, about how he killed Doctor Who or something? He made this film, and then he went to a convention, or went to this convention, filmed himself, and they interviewed him, and they were not very nice to him.
Yeah. There's a lot. I must point out, this edition has got a lot of good extras. There's a whole disc, whole disc of extras. But you could spend ages watching all the extras, which I have done. So we've got here Paul McGann is in the role, and at the time, he was really well known for With Nail and I, 1987, which it's considered a real classic.
Oh yeah,
following British film. He was also in, and I haven't seen it for ages, and I have to look out. He was in Alien 3, apparently, and it must have been a very minor role. I can't remember him being in it, but apparently he's in Alien 3. And he's also in another absolute disastrous British film that came out, which gets really slagged off, which was the lesbian vampire killers from
Oh yeah.
2009. So his record in terms of feature films isn't that good, is it? Really, it's not a good background. But putting that aside, he steps into the role really well, which I'll just talk about in a minute. And we got Sylvester McCoy returning as the Seventh Doctor, and that's great to see. I love that they've got him back for, you know, the regeneration, because we get the regeneration. Then we've got the female character, which is quite controversial at the time. It was Daphne Ashbrook, who, again, if you look, she's very much TV series and TV films. She plays the part of Grace. But to be fair to her, she's really embraced that character. And on Big Finish, she's got a whole life and done a lot more with this Eighth Doctor as well as her own stuff. She's quite, done a lot for Big Finish. So for Doctor Who fans, that's always a good sign that they're still, once you've been in Doctor Who, you're there. And it's the same with this next one. I probably pronounced this wrong. Yi Ji Tuso. He plays this Chinese, like Changling.
It's bound sure to be Yi Guy something.
Yeah. He's another TV series and TV films, and he's done Big Finish as well. So that's good. They're all done Big Finish. Now, the next one is Eric Roberts, who plays the Master. Of course, he probably hates this because people say, "Oh, you're the brother of Julia Roberts." Yes, he is. Now, looking at the stuff that he was in, again, you wouldn't exactly jump out and say it's great stuff always. So now, a lot of people think he is really good in Runaway Train as a film, 1985. Personally, I never got on with that film, which is surprising, particularly as I like trains. But maybe it's him. Maybe it's him that put me off.
Could be.
It was also in this film called Specialist, which I have heard about but never seen, which has Stallone and Sharon Stone in it from 1994. Specialist. I've not seen that, but he's in that one apparently. And I didn't notice him. It's probably a very small part. He's in The Dark Knight. I never saw him in Dark Knight. Yeah, 2008. Then he's in The Expendables, 2010. These must be micro roles. And also he's in one of the worst series of films that I can think of. They are films that I will not watch, but he's in The Human Centipede 3.
Oh God, yeah, bloody hell.
They are atrocious. I've never seen them. I've seen bits about them, and I thought, there's no way I'm going to watch that rubbish. I know I should say that, but it is absolute rubbish. And also, he was in that film again. I haven't seen it, which I think was about old Hollywood, which is called Babylon in 2022. It's quite sort of well thought of film, I think. But yeah, he's a TV bloke. He does lots of TV and direct. The dreaded words, direct to video. God, there were so many of these things, direct to video. And that always makes you think, oh, second, third division. My thoughts on this. Paul McGann is fantastic. He's brilliant. I'd love to have seen more of Paul McGann as the Doctor. And Daphne Ashbrook is good. I think she fits into the role pretty well. Sylvester McCoy is great. Is Sylvester McCoy. And the Yi Ji Tasso, whatever it is, he's all right as well. He's quite good. I think he's quite good. But here we have got Eric Roberts playing the Master.
Wow, yeah.
I realised watching it why this film, I loved it and then didn't like it. And then I loved it and went backwards and forwards. And now my opinion is I do like it, but it's Eric Roberts for me that is the problem. I don't like
you think Julia Roberts should have been the Master then?
Well, actually, she probably would have done a much better job than he did. he is totally miscast as the Master. I think he is. I just think he's atrocious, absolutely atrocious acting. There's a scene where he's got this, the sort of Time Lord garment on with the signature thing. He's a bad. I did no, and then I thought, well, no wonder he's never made it into top grade.
Yeah.
No wonder he's direct to video. He's one of those lower division actors. He does well.
I think somebody forgot to mention to him that you do understand that the Master is sort of like a Moriarty character, right? Because he just came across to me as a slick gangster type role, and that's not what the Master is.
There was no.
I was expecting him to be in the a knockoff of Godfather when I was watching it.
Actually, I don't think since Anthony Ainley, I like Anthony Ainley. I know he gets a bit of thing, but Roger Del Dorado, Anthony Ainley, they to me they're proper masters.
Yeah,
I didn't like John Sim. I know that's controversial. I never got on with John Sim as the Master.
I liked him at first, John Sim.
Yeah, and then the other bloke who's played it since, I've forgotten his name, in Jodie Whittaker's era.
No,
he was pretty bad. The Master to me is exactly how Delgado and Ainley played him, and none of this nonsense, this other stuff. It just doesn't work. I don't think it works. And Eric Roberts, he's just not.
He's just not a master, is he?
Yeah, but having put all that aside, there's a lot to love about this. So if you can get past Eric Roberts, then I could. But I realised watching it why it put me off this a bit, really. But seeing it, I loved all the designs. I loved McGann. He's excellent. He adds a lot of humanity as well. I know they go in the direction that he's half human, which was controversial at the time. But even putting that aside, and the romance stuff, because I'm a bit old school, and I allow to think that the Doctor can't get all this romantic stuff involved, really. But and the story about the clock and all that is a bit the Millennium Eye of Harmony, and they mixed it all in. The Eye of Harmony is quite interesting. The design.
Well, you know what? I have a sort of dislike about the whole of the script, because knowing how many years there was between the ending of the last story and this one. I thought the script was pretty weak.
Yeah,
incredibly weak.
Yeah,
a clock. The TARDIS's digital clock is
criticism of it. Yeah,
and then there's the Master has been escorted to Skaro to be executed. Why?
Yeah, why? Why? That's how they never ask why.
And I'm just going, no.
Yeah, but
all of this is wrong.
You can see why it wasn't taken up. The BBC, I think, were quite happy to have.
Do you know what I was disappointed with? They did a fantastic. Debney did a good Doctor Who main theme, but I always wondered back in the day. I wonder what Jerry Goldsmith would have done as a score.
Well, he might have improved it, might he?
It was a good score, and I really did like the main titles and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm not bringing that in just because, he had to get Jerry Goldsmith in somehow.
Did you notice how I was playing cool there?
I did actually wonder what it'd be like if someone like let me say, what if Georges Delarue did a Doctor Who main theme, right? Let's bring in somebody else. Let's bring in John Barry. I wonder what John Barry would do as a Doctor Who.
There's a lot of good stuff.
I just knew that when it went over to the States, anything was possible. So of course, this came out on a bank holiday, if I remember rightly.
It did, yes, I remember watching it. Yeah.
And right at the end, it said, about John Pertwee, because he had recently died.
That's right. Yes. Right? Yeah.
I just went, that I it got to the end and I went, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But history doesn't plays tricks on you, definitely,
It
with
does.
Doctor Who, the
It does.
movie.
It is, because I didn't realize how bad Eric Roberts was. I knew at the time I was watching it, I was just pleased that it was there, and I didn't really think too much about it. But now looking back, it really just he ruins it. He ruins it for me, which is a shame, because Paul McGann is so good. He really is good. He didn't need the wig though, Paul McGann. And they did, and in the mini episode that he did, he didn't have that wig on. He didn't need it. But yeah, this is really good. I really enjoyed that. And then what have we got? Oh yeah, we've only got a couple more.
I was just going to close off with that one. I was going to. So, when you retrospectively looked at it again,
Yeah.
did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, without doubt, I really enjoyed it. I was looking at the designs. I was looking at the whole look of it. It has a
So
really
it
good look.
it does fit in your collection then.
Yeah, it's nice. You know, I mean,
Remember, I always told you I look at that one as being a bridging.
Yeah, it is. I understand that.
A bridging
I
disc.
understand this.
And it also, at least you could turn around and say, well, I got all of Sylvester McCoy in.
Yeah, exactly. It's all that. I mean, it's watchable. You know, I'll watch it again. You know, despite all my criticism of it, I still watch it again. It's Doctor Who, and Paul McGann. He's good. You know, I mean, he's really good. So I can get over the limitations of it, of why, you know, I can't get over that. Because let's face it, I can watch bad classic Doctor Who, but get over it. Apart from possibly Twin Dilemma, this is still a struggle.
I'm going to let you. I'm going to let you continue. I've got to check on my mum.
Okay.
I will have to do this a couple of times tonight because you won't go to sleep until 10 o'clock. So
yeah. So
but I'm just going to make sure she's got a cup of tea in her hand. She's what? Do you know what? She's watching the English football game.
Oh right. Oh, they've got a friendly, is there?
Well, yeah, it's the last game before the World Cup thing.
Oh yeah, that World Cup starting soon.
So anyway, I'll be back in a bit.
Yeah, anyhow, I'll do my normal Hammer film to review. So here we are, the last. This is the last Dracula film. Now we've got to, which I've been going through, and it's the Satanic Rites of Dracula from 1973. Dracula is now these last two Dracula films have been in the modern era, and I say this is the last one. And it's directed, in fact, by somebody called Alan Gibson, who is effectively again it sounds derogatory, all TV series and TV films. And believe it or not, when you actually watch this, I can see that he's very much a TV series kind of actor. It has a television feel about it. It does. All these sort of secret agents and this kind of stuff. It's very much. It's like that. It has that feel. Anyhow, we've got Christopher Lee, of course, and we've got Peter Cushing again. As a Van Helsing, their line carries on a lot, doesn't it? Van Helsing's. What can you say? Brilliant, absolutely. They're just top class, don't is it? And then we've got Michael Coles, who is a TV series and TV films. He's the police guy, very much involved in that. You've got to have a bit of police, haven't you? Investigating weird goings on. And then you've got somebody called, who I think I knew from TV, was William Franklin. In fact, he was in Quatermass 2 now, 57. And The Snorkel, which I have talked about before, which was one of those Hammer films from 1958, which they did a lot of these like murder sort of thriller ones. It's an interesting one. Snorkel. He was in Morecambe and Wise, The Intelligence Man. Excuse me. And he was in Polanski classic, which is Cul-de-sac 1966. And he also, I don't stand there. I can't remember, but I remember the film well. Who You Are Awful, 1972, Dick Emery film. He was in that, crikey. But I say the Schweppes, he was well known really for advertising that. I just remember it so much. Then we've got Freddie Jones. Now, Freddie Jones is a lot of films going right back, but he was in Far From the Madding Crowd, which I love, absolutely love that. 1967. Otley, popped up again. 1968. Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. The last, I think it's the last Frankenstein. Oh no, it isn't. No, it's not the last one. That's the Monster from Hell. But yeah, he's in one. He's in one at later Frankenstein. It's 1969. Yeah. So he's in that one. He was in The Man Who Haunted Himself, 1970. Roger Moore, which I think has just had a more recent 4K release. Excellent film. Very interesting film. It is really, it's a good one. It was in Assault, which I've talked about before, 1971. Sitting Target, 1972. Juggernaut, 1974, which is a sort of action film. There's, I know, Richard Harris in that one. We've got Zulu Dawn, which I know Tony talks about. It's a Zulu film. And then he was in The Elephant Man. Yes, of course, he was a baddie. He was the mistreating the Elephant Man. I remember him, the villain, 1980. Firefox, Clint Eastwood film, 1982. Firestarter, which is a brilliant Stephen King. It's one of my favorite Stephen King films, 1984. Drew Barrymore. And of course, he was in Dune, 1984, which is, you know, I'm a big, massive fan of Dune, 1984. Eric the Viking, 1989. Wilder Art, 1990. House, 2000. And The Libertine, 2005. And then I've got to mention Joanne Lumley. She's in it. Yes, Joanne Lumley. She's like the attractive woman in it that you see. And sorry. She's rather good, but of course she's known. New Avengers, 1967, 1977, Sapphire and Steel, 79 to 82, and of course I've never seen this, but I've seen it advertised a lot. Absolutely fabulous. 1992 to 96, 2001 to 2004, and it must have come back again in 2011, 2012. It's one of those BBC staples, but I've never seen it. I know it's to do with fashion and all that sort of stuff, but and it was comedy. I never watched it. But New Avengers, I always think of Joanne Lumley, but she's in this, yes, and she's very good. Excellent. So what is this about? Well, we now are in the modern era, as I say, and these secret agents, you can say the secret agents, government secret agents, are trying to find out what is going on, because sort of now this is a familiar tale. Elite sort of establishment people, various people in various professions, all seem to be meeting at this country house. They go there. Does that sound familiar with what we get nowadays and all this Epstein files and all this rubbish? Van Helsing is called in to find out a bit more about what is going on here, because they sense and know that there's some occult activity has been going on there, and they've sent people in and they've not come out. They've been discovered. Joanne Lumley, in fact, who is the I think it's the daughter granddaughter of Peter Cushing. I think he always have granddaughters. Um, she gets sent in to look, find out what is going on, and that's how sort of the story goes. So it all goes. Ultimately, we're going to get the face off between Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, and that happens. You know, it's going to go in direction, and it kind of, as a last film, we get the fire. I don't think it's giving it away, that which is very much a Hammer films. But by this time now, Hammer it's become a bit tired, hasn't it? Really, which is a shame. It's enjoyable. I must admit, I enjoyed it, but yeah, I think I said it last week. I love the gothic stuff. It never quite hits the mark. And you can see why this was the last of the Dracula films. I think both of them realized that that was it now. They didn't want to do anymore. I'm sure they realized, this is it. We've had a good run. And they've gone into modern era, and that's it. And it's proved it. They've just not got the same feel and magic that they had before. But it's a way to end it, and I really, it's a good completionist thing for the Draculas. Though they did carry on a bit longer. There's not much more of Hammer stuff. Hammer's now really, it's at the end, really, isn't it? But there we are. And then finally, this is a film that might surprise people that I've not seen before. And I got it. It was one of my birthday ones. And it's a film that I've always wanted to see. But people talk about it so much. It's this one. It's Unforgiven from 1992. It's interesting that you look on the end, and it's the film was dedicated to Sergio Don, it says, which of course is recognizing Sergio Leone and Don Siegel, and of course this is directed by Clint Eastwood himself. I was looking, instead of the sort of films that Clint Eastwood has been in, which he is in quite a few of these, but then the amount of films he directed is quite a massive amount. And I know the one that I knew straight away, which was an earlier one that he directed in the 70s, Play Misty for Me, 1971, which is a great film. But some of his films he directed are considered really well loved of his films, like High Plains Drifter, 73, The Eiger Sanction, 75, Outlaw Josie in Wales, 1976, The Gauntlet, 77, Firefox, which is I think quite good, Sudden Impact, 83. See all these, Pale Rider, 1985, Heartbreak Ridge, 1986, Of the Space Cowboys, which is a really good one, I think, Mystic River, 2003, Gran Torino, 2008. This is just a few, that's not all. American Sniper, he directed American Sniper, 2014, Sully, 2016, and the last film he actually directed was Jura 2 into 2024, and he's in his 90s, isn't he now? Well into his 90s, he's getting up towards 100. I don't know how he might even have got there, but you just think, what a career as a director, never mind as an actor. I mean, fantastic. What a great guy. And so this Western also has another, well, it's got a really good cast, hasn't it? Gene Hackman is in this, and he's excellent. He's French Connection, of course, is a film that really brought him well known, really out there. Poseidon Adventure, 72, Superman, who can not forget him in Superman, and carrying on doing more sequels. Under Fire, 1983, Mississippi Burning, which I really like. Mississippi Burning, it's a quite hard film about racial stuff in South. Very good. Crimson Tide. Crimson Tide is in that. He's in Enemy of the State, 1998, and Runaway Jury, 2003. And then we've got the wonderful Morgan Freeman.
Hey, hang on a minute. And Quicken the Dead.
Yeah, there's all sorts. I mean, the list was absolutely massive. I've only just picked a few. It's like same with Morgan Freeman. What do you pick with Morgan Freeman? Well, I've just narrowed it down. Otherwise, I'd be going on forever. But I put his Oscar-winning performance was Driving Miss Daisy, 1989. Glory, which I reviewed not long ago. I absolutely loving Glory, the Civil War one about the Black Regiment fighting for Unionists. And of course, he's in the Dark Knight trilogy. He's in all those 2005, 2008, 2012. But of course, he's in the film that everybody talks about. But at the time, people didn't go and see it at the cinema. It was considered a flop. As you've mentioned it as well before, as we talked about flops that went on to great films, which is The Shawshank Redemption, which is 1974. And I have to mention, and I found it quite annoying, actually, because I like Richard Harris, right? Richard Harris is building on here, but it says on the credits at the end, with Richard Harris. Richard Harris, he pops up in it at the beginning, and then he disappears. You're into the film. What's going on? He's off, and he don't come back. So I'm asking myself, I was looking it up. I couldn't find out any reason why this had happened. It was almost like he'd come in and they thought, oh, we don't want you now. Off you go.
Actually, I think there's a very, very long documentary about, I think it's called Clint Eastwood in Films.
Right.
About a 3-hour film, and it's all interviews, an interview with Clint Eastwood, and talking about his life in films.
Right.
And it shows him directing, I think, is it the Flags film? I forgot what it's called. Some at Flags. He was directing at the time. And I think he mentioned that the script went through many stages. And I think he was supposed to be in it longer.
Yeah.
And I think on the set it was changed.
Really? Yeah.
I think they talk about it just briefly, and I think that made sense to me, because I was going, yeah, it's a bit weird, this.
Yeah.
But by the way, Unforgiven was on 2 nights ago on BBC Two.
Oh, right.
Just thought I'd let you know.
I
didn't watch it because there was another film on the other side, so I watched that. Because I've been Unforgiven
I've never seen this. First time watch for me, which might surprise.
Oh,
me.
well, as a first time watch, you can't knock that film.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I
told you, didn't I? The first time I watched it, I like the idea that it's like Chinese whispers, because every time they were talking about the crime that was committed, right? It was in one instance, it was they cut her titties off, then it would cut her nipples off, and they kept chatting. The story kept. I was going, bloody hell! This story's changed. I don't know how many bloody times, right?
There is also a comedy element going under all this stuff. There's the constant joke about him with his horse. He can't get on his horse properly. It's showing the sort of aging side that he's getting.
Oh, because he mistreated the horse during his past and stuff.
And that younger man who brings him out of retirement, he becomes so irritating. He's determined, isn't he, to get what he wants him for.
I'm the fastest gun in the West. I can do this, and then you find out he's half blind or something.
He's irritating. I find him irritating. I'm surprised he had so much patience with him. Did Clint Eastwood in there? I just think he's.
I mean, he's not even a diplomat, is he? Is he? I mean, he talked him into getting into this, and you think to yourself, Wow, at the very minimum, he's got very good diplomatic skills
Yeah,
because he's got him to come out of retirement to do
that's
this.
right. That's
And
true.
I was going, he ain't
Yeah,
even that.
yeah.
So
He did
I
exaggerate
think
a lot.
purely he just wanted to go on a horse ride and didn't want to. He wanted to get out of separating them pigs
Yeah.
up.
Do you know what always made me think as well? Is that they're not very good parents, are they? These people. Oh, I'll just leave you for about 2 or 3 weeks, these kids, to fend for
Yeah.
themselves, you know,
There,
on their
there, there
own.
were there were things that infuriated me because I've watched other films and they've gone into great detail on why lawless towns are like they are,
Mm.
and this one doesn't go into that. The more the about the only closeness you've got to a lawless town in this is you see the sheriff building his extension.
Yeah.
You go,
Yeah.
well, why aren't you out there doing some bloody sheriffing or something,
It's,
right?
it's,
But you know what I mean? It's just that I mean, it's not a flawless film,
no, it's
but
not.
I
But
tell you what,
for the first,
it's an incredible film. But
yeah.
when you finish talking about your bit on this, I want to go back to something that you said. So carry on.
Yeah. This I think the film that I loved, it's just an enjoyable film, you know, and it did make me smile a lot in places, and I like that because um that comedy element is it just adds to it. I think it worked well. Sometimes comedy doesn't always go well with sort of some situations. But I think in this situation it worked well. And you've got to admire Gene Hackman because he was a character you absolutely hated and was waiting for him to get his comeuppance. And when it finally came, it was great. But yeah, he helped make the film because he's so he's the way he is. He's a baddie, and you really don't like him, but he's kind of got his own way. You know, his relationship. There's a writer there who's trying to write the story, and you get sort of a comedy element there with it about him writing his life story and what have you. It's just it works well. Clint Eastwood, obviously, I think. Must have loved the script and just thought, I've got to do this, and I can see why and be part of it. And it's a good idea as well about the aging, you know, because you do get it in classic westerns. You know, the gunfighter who has to come out of retirement, and he's very reluctant. He doesn't want to come out of retirement, does he? He's just weary. You know, he's done all these bad things. He's done a lot of bad things, and he's just weary and wants to forget all about all that. And there he is, comes out of retirement. So there's a lot of good things in this film. And I say it's the first time I've seen it, and I'll watch it again now. Definitely, it's very rewatchable, and I'll probably get even more things out of it. I think a second time, and so I like the fact. I know this is controversial. I did say it. I like more traditional westerns. The spaghetti westerns, I don't mind the sort of earlier ones, particularly ones that he was in. But then they expanded. I know Tony likes probably the spaghetti westerns more than I do, but I know Muckman does. Muckman thinks I'm totally mad, but I kind of
Because
got
you are.
stylized westerns. Spaghetti westerns had a certain style which started to wear a bit, to be honest, on me. That stylistic way they were made, and this one has a good traditional western feel to it, as well as a more modern take as well. And so this does it well for me. We've got also a modern western at the time. It's what is it, 1992. So it's quite very well modern. So it is a relatively modern western at the time, and this is how they should be done. This is exactly what I like about it, and I think Eastwood is so astute as a director, and as well as somebody who obviously saw this script and thought, yeah, this is it. This is really good, and that's my take on that. So if there's a film that has surprised me as well, apart from The Housemaid, this I'm so pleased because it reinforced what I believe in that you can make really good modern westerns. And this is the bridging period. This is a really good bridge into a modern western, I think. And it just shows you how good Eastwood is, definitely. And that's why he's a legend. He's adjusted with the times, and he's still,
when was just going past westerns a minute? When was the last time you watched Firefox?
Ooh, quite a long time ago.
There's a film that's not seen in a good light much.
It isn't, is it? I mentioned it in 1982.
Yeah.
Firefox.
Now, Firefox. I remember when I saw Firefox, I always thought when I watched it, because I wasn't that old.
Yeah.
But I only liked the second half of the film. And it was because it was all of the flight sequences and all of that sort of stuff, right? And then obviously when I saw it a little bit later, and I was going, and even then flight sequences aren't very good.
Yeah.
Right. And then YouTube showed a little documentary literally about a month ago. And I found out that even Douglas Trumbull was involved with the special effects. If ever you want to know who he is, he did Star Trek the Motion Picture and a number of other things. He got involved because he helped with the paint design of the aircraft, believe it or not. Oh. Because of the way that they had to come up with a new way of doing it, because of the paint that they put on would have too much glare.
Yeah.
And it was a bluey grey color. And when they were screening it, to do mattes and so forth, where you separate black and white and do an overlay and all of this sort of stuff, it didn't work out because of the light that would rebound off of it. So they had to call him in because it was the same problem that the Enterprise had in regards to how it was lit up.
Yeah. So
that was very interesting to me because I'd never heard of this guy that wrote that designed the aircraft, and then they got such a person as him involved with the special effects. And there I was several years when the film came out, where I went, and the special effects don't hold up. Mm-hmm. But Firefox, it's a book that I've never read, and I even now I sort of like nostalgically think I really enjoyed the last half and didn't like the first half.
Oh. I must watch it sometime again.
It's amazing. I really do need to go back to some of these films because I'm sure everybody in the room has probably seen Firefox, but I tell you what, I doubt if anybody's had it on their lips to talk about in 20 years.
Yeah.
What is there to talk about, really? I suppose some people will say. And I say, well, there's a lot to talk about. A, it's a film. B, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that I've seen Juror 2, which was his last one. And
we've both seen that, haven't we? Because we reviewed that in the same week, didn't we?
That's right. And I really enjoyed that. I think he's still got it. He can still do it as a director. Absolutely no problem at all with him. When he does depart,
although it's a bit silly, really, isn't it? Because he could never be on the jury, could he? When he actually saw the whole damn thing.
But I think it was enjoyable. I just totally enjoyed it. What I'm going to say is that is Clint Eastwood one of the great last one of these type of actor directors? Is there many left?
Oh, now? You mean old school directing?
Yeah, I mean, it's, in terms of he's getting on a bit now. He's in his 90s, and when we look back now at his career, he's going to be seen as I think his career is going to look really good.
He's a hybrid, isn't he? Because there aren't many people that you can there is a cause and reason, isn't there? Do you consider him a director? Do you consider him an actor?
Yeah.
Do you consider him both? Is he the hybrid that basically shows that you can be remembered for both? Because some people, are usually pigeonholed into being one rather than the other.
Exactly.
he is one of those people that I look up to.
Exactly, and I think he will be considered in history of film as an important figure.
But you say the same about Richard Attenborough, though, don't
you?
Yeah,
and he's not got the same output as Clint Eastwood, which is even more. I mean, the fact is his output is massive. I mean, it's just a massive amount of work.
Oh yeah,
like that. So that even makes it even greater, I know I love Richard Attenborough for a lot of reasons, but I mean, Clint Eastwood, it's just acting and the direction, amazing career. An actor would be pleased to have had all that output, but to be a director as well.
Yeah, I just thought of something. Go back to your Doctor Who. I know I'm jumping about. Right. Do you think the credits should have said the Master and in brackets of none?
Yeah. I know. I'm glad you feel the same about that.
Anybody who's old would recognise that jack of all trades and a master of none.
It really highlighted how bad he was. I can't explain how bad he was.
Anyway, I just had to bring that in. Do you know we've got to 21 minutes past 9, and you ain't started the comments?
Yeah, well, that's we probably ain't got many. But anyway,
the other thing that made me laugh is he said, and now we get to the Hammer films, and we get to the modern age, and I'm going, it was 1972. What do you consider modern age?
It is for Dracula. It is.
What do you consider bloody modern age, man? That was how many years ago?
Yeah, but it's Dracula is
50, how many 50 years do you have to go back, right, before something's not modern age anymore?
But listen, Dracula is gothic. He's all going back and here we are at the time. He was in the modern age. He was in, even if it was the 70s.
Yeah, but you could turn around and say that Dracula in the 18th century was in the modern age at the time it was being done.
No, but people know what I mean. They mean it.
No, they don't.
They do. They know.
Even comics in 1972 was considered Bronze Age.
Oh, for goodness
Bronze Age, Silver Age, 60s, Bronze Age, right?
No.
Not modern age. Not modern age.
I'm sorry. It's considered modern age because it is. I consider.
Do you know what I would say? I'd say modern times.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Maybe it's just a north of words, but I'm not a comic fan, therefore I'm not seeing it from a comic viewpoint.
Even films are considered golden age, silver. So don't start with the comic business.
With all that. I go with what I see it as, and my label is, it's not set in the 19th century, our 18th century or 17th century, talk about 17th century.
Modern
my
times.
Period in history is 17th century. It's the modern times.
Modern times.
Though it is, in terms of history, often considered going into the modern era, and then you're going, how can it be? But in historical studies, we see things are like given different labels. Anyhow, that's a whole academic argument. But yes,
it was just my passing little joke, really. It's just that you've got things like The Young Boys and all of this sort of stuff, right? And even those films that came out in the 80s and 90s are not modern age.
Oh yeah, well,
they're 20, 30 years ago. I'm feeling old. I'm feeling old.
Like Fright Night, I would say, it's vampires in the modern era.
There you are.
Films. Well, it is in the modern era. Vampires in Fright Night.
Not modern age. Era.
It's in modern era. It is. I'm not going to say, oh, is it? Oh,
Right,
I could say in the
just
80s.
just because where you come from, you've only just got on the electric 10 years ago, don't mean, right, that it's bloody modern or not.
Oh, dear.
I mean, you still go out in the back garden and pull the water out the well, don't you? I mean, you say, what's all this Perrier water? I go out the back and get my water out the well. Never done me any harm.
No, of course not, lad.
Long as the pigeons haven't been around it or anybody's peed in it, it's all right.
Oh, lovely. Lovely pigeons. Right. Okay, let's get on with the comments. So let's start with Sai. Evening, gang. Hello, Sai. Welcome. And then we've got Slipknot saying sup. Hello, Slipknot. And then we've got Sai saying Slipknot and putting fingers up. And then hi, hey, Sai. Slipknot says. And Sai going like that. And then Slipknot says the alien in the thumbnail just reminded me of a meme I saw recently of a guy gifting an alien a can of Red Bull during the first contact.
Yeah, could have been in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, couldn't it?
Yeah. And then we've got David Marshall. Hello, David. He says hi, everyone. And then Sai says hi, David. And then we've got Tony Hawks. Evening, Ian, Del, and chat. Hello, Tony. I won't say no, but you know what normally happens if I do say something.
All right, you little git.
And then David says, anyone seen Absolution? Yes, with Richard Burton. Thinking of buying it. It's one of those religious kind of films with Richard Burton as a priest. I if you like that kind of film, you're going to love it. He's brilliant. Richard Burton, we don't see enough of him, do we? I don't think.
Yeah, I like a good old Richard Burton film, unless we're talking about one particular one.
Yeah, and I like sort of religious themed ones. You know, he's this priest with his faith and all that sort of stuff. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then we've got Slipknot saying hi, Dave, and then David saying all right, Sai. And then Tony says, hi, Sai, Slip, and David. And then Aya, Tony.
Don't worry, folks. We'll get past the highs in a minute. Hi.
Tony says, hi, Tony. And then we've got Tony saying, yes, David, I have the Blu-ray of Absolution. It's one I enjoyed, but not my favorite of Burton's. I prefer Wild Geese. Oh, Villain. I like Villain. And, Medusa Touch from the 70s. Yeah, Medusa Touch. Wow. That's really good.
It's only because those are on his free things to get a Blu-ray of and then send the DVDs off to you.
Well, actually, I've got my own Blu-rays of Villain and Medusa Touch. So it's not Tony York corner.
No, he won't be sending those on DVD to you then, will he? He can go sod off and put them in the skip.
I haven't got Wild Geese though, but
haven't you? I've got Wild Geese.
But you've got it, haven't you? I think I've seen you. Yeah.
You know, sometimes they turn up in the back garden and
with the ducks.
The
swans. And then every time someone mentions Wild Geese, I have to remind everyone that I cry like a baby at the end. Oh, well, there you are. Films are like
it's
that.
It's a good film.
And then, thanks, Tony. I think 88 films released it. I like their releases. They are good.
I like their sales.
Yeah. They're not too expensive, are they?
No.
I think they're much less than Arrow. And then
their packaging is very very sort of like eco. I would say.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Tony. And then Yeah, poor old Richard Harris. Yeah, I know, poor old Richard Harris, but there we are. That's what he wasn't in it enough. uh, that's the one I have, David, from '88. They did a good job with the Tigan releases a while ago. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
average.
I bought a couple of
Yeah,
those
and
Finder
then
Generals and stuff like that, didn't
yeah,
you?
that's Don Revit, as I
Yeah.
mentioned, Leeds manager in the film. Doctor Who Christmas special cancelled.
We did talk about that before we
Yeah,
came
it's
on.
not a surprise, is it? Really,
No.
Tony, all shenanigans that have been going on, and I think the BBC quite relieved about it at the moment. You know, you can
Well,
tell in the
I
statement.
turned around and I turned around and said, for all the stuff that was mentioned, it screams to me really of the BBC Charter than more than anything.
Yeah,
You can go down the route of scripts and the nastiness in the words of Rich, of T. Davis and all of that sort of stuff. But what you have to remember is that in about a year and a half to 2 years' time, the BBC's charter's up. They're going to be up in Parliament, and if they had have got the special up, and then they'd have got maybe even one season out of Doctor Who, they've got to be funded for them to continue their charter, and it's not going to be good, is it? That they would then have to put it out to tender again. It makes perfect sense that 6 months before Christmas that they've said, nah, it's not going to happen, and then they're saying it's going out to tender, because that's more of the truth than anything, because they would only be able to fund it for a year, and then they might have to find a way of how they're going to be funded from now on.
Yeah,
And then that will put Doctor Who up in the air again. They'd rather have some sort of stability by saying, hey, look, can you fund this for us?
Yeah,
because we ain't got the money.
I look at it like this. What they would have done possibly is they've been boring. They'd have got Billy Piper and David Tennant. Oh, well, you could do another special. Even they probably would have said, "Oh no, I think we don't want to do that anymore."
It's worse than that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, who's going to want to take on a show where they've already chosen who the next Doctor is, and the new person coming in has got is rope tied into just having that person? They can't do anything.
Be their choice. They don't want that actor.
They're going to want to choose, aren't they? So,
and then what actor is going to take on a role, not knowing that it's going to be a permanent role?
I've got to turn down all this theatrical work and all this sort of stuff because I've got
to. They've put themselves in a really ridiculous position. But there we are. It's given them an excuse now, and they can probably just totally can it. We'll see what happens. They have to put out that statement, they have to do. And then that's 2 Christmas specials in a row now. Yeah. Well, in fact, I can't remember the last Christmas special.
Oh, don't you? I do. It's still a nightmare that plays through my head.
Yeah, I can never remember it.
Do you remember? It's that one where they were in a hotel and they went through doors.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, and that was that a Gatwa one? It put me really
bloody awful.
I just couldn't watch it.
It was awful.
Yeah, it was, and I couldn't watch anymore after that. I think that probably did me in with him. It was so boring. Absolutely, it was one of the most boring ones I've ever seen. Do you remember when it was a great event watching the Christmas special? It was. You really look forward to. You said, "Oh, Doctor Who Christmas special," and looking forward to that later on.
It wasn't even a thing until Doctor Who came along. Christopher Eccleston left, and then straight away David Tennant was in a Christmas special.
That Christmas special.
And then from then on, it was like, it did so well last time. And then it was like, we can't have a Christmas without a Doctor Who.
Yeah. And then the rot started to set in when they started messing about, and they you knew things were on the skid when they said, "Oh, we'll do it for New Year." I think was that in Jodie Whittaker era.
Oh yeah, it was New
It could
Year.
even
It
have
came
been
out
in
then.
for Capaldi era.
They did a James Bond one, didn't they?
They really
Year.
it got bad. You knew writing was on the
That had
wall.
Lenny Henry in it, didn't it?
Oh, it was yes, yeah. I'd rather not think about them.
They did do a Dalek one over a New Year one once.
It was actually it was Jodie Whittaker's last story, and it was her best, which is they brought the Daleks in, and it was a good story, and but they did obviously bring in some old doctors, but I enjoyed that one. That was her best story. But there we are. Oh no. Tony says, I've never heard of Margie Clark for years. Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Then, they've mentioned a film I've heard of but never seen. Letter to Brezhnev.
To Brezhnev, yeah.
I've heard of that, but I've never seen it. And then so it says, I think, yeah, that's it. And then here he is. Good evening, Pearl and Dean. Anyway, there you are, Jamie.
Oh, for goodness sake, man! It's and by the way,
that impression.
By the way, wasn't that? I swear that riff in that Pearl and Dean is from Richard Harris singing that cake. Cake.
Cake.
Yeah, you know that something park or something. It's about a cake.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Rain.
Oh, yeah. MacArthur Park,
right?
That's it.
When he gets into the middle and it takes into this orchestral bit, right?
Yeah.
There's a bit in it that goes right. That's Pearl and Dean.
Paul Richard Harris is really getting it today.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I like Richard Harris, but there you are. What can I say?
It's a weird song that though, isn't it? About a cake in the rain, and I'll never be able to make a cake like that.
I presume he made an album, and I bet the album is dreadful. I bet it's absolutely awful.
Yeah, but wasn't that sung by somebody really, really well known? You know, a famous soul singer type thing.
Yeah, you're right, but I don't know who, but yeah, I think you're right. And then Tony says, remember seeing in a TV series about factory workers. Oh, that's Margie Clark.
Like I said, Margie Clark, it's just a weird one. I was going, see, because I was watching it and I was going, I recognize that voice.
Yeah.
She's got one of those Liverpudlian sort of like voices.
Yeah.
And it got to the end and I went, oh yeah, Margie Clark, of course.
Yeah.
And I went, I haven't heard of her in ages.
Yeah. And then we've got Si saying, hi, Jamie. And then here he is. Jim Jam. Yo, Jim Jam back in town. Oh, really?
He's been back in town for about 2 weeks, you miserable sod. Give it a rest, man. Jesus. You went to Blackpool of America.
Oh dear.
No.
Oh dear. Actually, there's no wrong with Blackpool. I like Blackpool.
He knows I'm only kidding.
And then Jim Jansai says, hope you didn't miss me too much. No.
I have to do my old joke when somebody does that. We missed you, but then we learned to punch straight.
And actually, to be fair, I've enjoyed watching your videos. So
of course we have. You know, I'm only kidding.
I did. I was surprised. They were a nice surprise. I enjoyed them. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah. And then McMahon says, evening, Tony, Si, and Slipknot. And then Jim Jones saying, hi, Si. And Tony Hawks, he's doing it now. And then he hadn't got to that bit.
You still got it wrong.
He got the there. And then he says, "Evening, Jamie," and then he says, "Pearl." Yeah, of course, Pearl and Dean. What's your favourite Tony Hancock episode? I only know probably a couple. I don't know his series. I know the famous ones. That's it.
Well, yeah, there's two famous ones, isn't there? There's
Yeah,
the Radio Ham and the Blood
that's
Donor,
right.
right?
Yeah,
And those came out on record and sold in millions and all of that sort of
blood
stuff.
transfusion one as well, isn't
And
it?
there was
Yeah.
one where they were double dating with Sid James. That was quite a good one.
Yeah,
Can't quite
I
remember.
have got. I must watch it and dig it out. I have got a best of his TV ones I picked up really cheap somewhere. But I must say I haven't watched. I don't know with Tony Hancock, and he's not my favorite.
Tony Hancock though is Tony Hancock though is cynical comedy.
Yes, yeah.
It's not even sort of like slapstick, jokey. It's cynical comedy. He's always going, "I'm better than you," and the other thing is that how stupid are you to come out with a remark like that type thing, right? And I always find those things all right, but I can only take them in short bursts.
And it's interesting that he transferred from the radio to the TV as well. I suppose at that time you had things like the Goon Show and what have
you.
Which didn't go to the TV, did it? Really,
it was really well written.
Yeah, it was really well written. It's well thought of. Is Tony Hancock? People do talk about it as a,
I told you I was really into Tony Hancock when I was buying the audio stuff.
Yeah,
I bought a lot of audio of the Navy Lark, Tony Hancock, all of them sort of the Goons. All of that sort of stuff, but then you have to move on at some point, and then when you go back to it, you sort of go, "Yeah, I've listened to it once. I don't really need to listen to it again. It's funny, but I much prefer a different type of comedy now, and I've sort of moved on from it." And I still like going back to but funnily enough, I still like going back to the Navy Lark, but even the Goons are sometimes a bit of a hard listen.
Yeah, I know this is controversial, maybe, especially with what we've talked about in some of the things, but it might seem just a little bit dated now, which I don't always think is a bad thing. It ain't always a bad thing because it gives you an idea of that era, but it's almost, even though it's the 60s, it's almost got 50s feel to it rather than 60s. It's like the 60s hasn't quite got going enough in that because it's a hangover in many ways transferring from the 50s, so you haven't really got these sort of real 60s stuff kicking in for me. I know that he did make two films which I've never seen, and I know they're available, I think, on network, aren't they? There's Punch and Judy Man or something, and another one.
No, that was one of two films that was very close to when he died, isn't it? So,
yeah, I've never seen them, so I don't know.
He was supposed to try and break out into American cinema, and it didn't work out.
Yeah,
and then he got even more depressed, and then
he killed himself, didn't he?
Yeah,
did he kill himself? Yeah. It's very sad. Yeah. And then Tony says, "Hi, James." And then, "Hi, Tony," Jim John says. And then Si says, "I'm making a prediction for next year's Oscar. Oh, Emily Blunt will win Best Actress for Disclosure Day. She's really good in it." As I expect that film will do well at the Oscars anyhow. I think it will do well. I've not seen it obviously yet, but I've heard a lot about it.
That's a bold statement when you consider it's like February, March next year, and we're only in.
And I suppose people are thinking, could that be Spielberg's last film? I think there's that element of it. Could it be? I'm not saying it is, but who knows? Who knows?
I know that he's just recently been interviewed, and they asked him a question about would you make a film for Netflix,
All right. Yeah.
and his answer to that was no. I'm a filmmaker.
Oh, I like that. I like that answer. Well, I do, because I kind of agree with it. After some of the stuff I've seen on Netflix, I totally agree with him. I like that. That's a very good answer. I like this answer. That's great. Love it. Brilliant.
So it shows he's still got his noodles, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think there's an end to you. You retire when you want to retire when you're in that business. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think he needs the money to make another one, and I don't think that he's too old for him to make another one. So
no. So we've got Tony saying, never seen any James. Enjoy him in Punch and Judy Man film. Oh yeah, there it is. Mentioned that. And then hopefully seeing Disclosure Day tomorrow. So we'll be expecting a video on that, won't we? You give us your opinion.
So you're going to disclose what film you're watching tomorrow? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Tony Complete and BBC box set can be found cheaply. All right.
Well, I'm not surprised because some of them aren't there.
Yeah, I bet there is missing episodes.
There's missing episodes, and Andy started off on the ITV network.
Oh, well, there you are, ITV.
And ITV have only got several episodes left of. I think they've got nearly one season, and then they've got little episodes of other ones because he did 2 or so seasons. Really? over on ITV,
but there's some missing, or have they got them all?
Yeah, there's some missing because it was on Rewind TV. They showed an interview with him, and he was interviewed with his wife on a park bench, which I thought was a bit weird. Yeah. And of course, just before they do this interview, they talk about the fact that ITV have only got so many of these episodes, and that Rewind are showing them for the first time since they were originally broadcast. That's how I knew about that. So he wasn't always on the BBC.
No,
I don't know whether he went BBC to ITV. I don't know if he went BBC to ITV or he went ITV to then BBC.
It might have been with him on those.
Yeah, well, they fell out, didn't they?
Yeah. So
the reason they fell out was because Sid James became a bigger. His part became so large that it was almost like they could be same bill,
equal billing.
Tony, that did not stroke Tony Hancock's ego one bit.
No, it wouldn't. No.
And yet you've got such great writers. I mean, who wrote for Hancock? Isn't it Galton? Wasn't it same people who did Step 2 and Son?
Galton and Simpson. Is it
Simpson?
Yeah.
And I think they turned around and said that Sid James was wonderful, really, and Tony Hancock was great, but he was temperamental.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that they were diplomatic enough is the word, I think, to not muddy the who wants to really besmirch a person who's dead. Well, they're both dead, you know what I mean? Just like them for what they were.
I get that. I just think he's very much of his era, definitely.
And when it comes to the complete Tony Hancock on the BBC, I must admit I've been tempted at times to buy it, but then I've gone. I like the audio.
Yeah.
And I've just got no inkling really to rewatch that. And it's not because it's in black and white. It's just
I just bought it a best of because it was cheap. I think it was a couple of quid, and I thought, oh well.
You only need a couple, and then go. I get the gist of what it. I get the gist of what it was.
I felt like that. Even though it's a best of, I didn't feel like watching all. I just felt like watching a couple of episodes.
For his anniversary, I remember that UK Gold, when it was called UK Gold still, they colorized 2 episodes and showed it on show. And the 2 that they colorized were the Radio Ham and the Blood Donor. And the Blood Donor is a good script, but this is the thing. every one of the programs was probably a good script. It's just, do you find it funny? Are you in that type of mood to watch it?
Yeah, and
That's all it is.
yeah,
That's all it is. All of them are good script. You know what I mean?
right.
So,
And then Tony says he didn't like him in The Rebel too much. Yeah. And then Jim Jones says The Rebel is also entertaining, strange seeing in color, which is what you mentioned about a colorization.
Yeah.
Hopefully a BFI sale is due soon. I don't know when they have their sales.
I never do with the BFI.
Yeah.
It's always a BFI sale in HMV, isn't it? That's what I ever hear.
Good titles.
Not a BFI sale on a website, you know.
Yeah. And then, Muckman saying, that Boosum box set was just over £15 when I told you about it, Delboy. I hope you didn't pay £20.
I in the corner of my eye, I saw what you said, and that's why I was going, do you know what? I think I had my VPN on.
Oh, right. Yeah.
See, with my VPN show in New York, it would show the dollar price.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was probably 15 quid what I paid for it. But at the end of the day, I can't be totally sure. So I just go, do you know what? It was just nice. He told me about it. I bought it. I bigged him up in my blog, and I mentioned it again today. And now I'm advertising him again, the bastard. and we're still not going past that point, little shit. So there we are, moving on.
Now this is interesting because I agree with this because he says not too many bargains floating about lately. Well, I went to Doctors.
No, they're all in Vegas, aren't they?
I went to Doctors on Monday, and I thought, I'll go into town charity shops. I went around all the charity shops, and I swear that they hadn't hardly changed since I last visited, which was months ago. And there's nothing in there in the charity shops. Absolutely nothing in. No CDs that are any cop. No DVDs. No box sets. Absolute rubbish. Why do I don't understand it? Maybe we were unlucky in our town. You know, you see these people who go to these charity shops and they come with some right special stuff that you think, you're lucky things. But obviously, Jim Jam saying the same. I think people are not donating as much. I don't know. I can't. If they are, somebody's lucky and they're there on probably with a phone out, going like, "Oh, quick, that's rare. Grab all them," and then you just leave all the rubbish behind. That's it. Right. Then David says, I bought Scream 7 on Blu-ray along with Urban Legend Trilogy. Well, I hope you enjoy all those. I still want to see Scream 7. I'd be interested. I know it's had some negative reviews, but I would definitely. I've enjoyed the Scream series, so, you know, I may well get it still eventually. And Urban Legend, I've not seen them, and they're supposed to be quite good, so I've not seen the Urban Legend Trilogy. I think they'd be quite good. And then Muckman says $15.99 on Rareway.
There you go.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Anybody that does a conversion will probably see I was quite right. That's about $21.
Yeah. And then Jim Jam says, sort of tempted to get No Sex Please by British, currently $5.99 on Amazon. I've got it on DVD, which I think was a Tony York Corner one. And
isn't that the one with Ronnie Corbett in?
That's right. I thought it was going to be better than it is. It's okay, but it's not brilliant. You know, it's not.
Yeah, but then again, I felt the same many years ago when I saw Everything You Wanted to Know About Sex but Was Afraid to Ask.
Oh, Woody Allen one.
Woody Allen. Right?
Yeah.
And that when I rewatched that, I went, why am I watching this? It's actually pretty poor.
Yeah. In fact, I like the best one in that is Gene Wilder.
Yeah. Because there's Burt Reynolds is in it, isn't he? You know.
Yeah. There is one or two, but it's it's okay, but not, not superb. Um, but yeah, I think I don't know with Ronnie Cobb, I was expecting a bit more, but there we are. I like Ronnie Cobb, but he's still good in it. Ronnie Cobbett's always worth watching, but it's not quite as good as I thought it would be. But for $5.99, yeah, that is it's cheap. Yeah. Tony says Railwaves have a US shop on eBay as well as the UK one. There you are. Yeah. And then
actually, he was very nice, and he gave me the link to it, and I just instantly got it from there. To be quite honest,
yeah. And he says second week, no corner. That's you. Instant unsubscribe. The Tony York corner. I'm sorry, Tony. It will come back eventually, maybe. I don't know.
When a second batch of boxes of bloody films come through, that's when that'll be back, won't it?
And then no Tony Hawk corner 2 weeks in a row. Hell has definitely frozen over. Yeah, well, don't worry. And then James says, I thought Amanda Seyfried was the standout performance in The Housemaid. She was incredible. It's a great film. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to say when they bring out more. And so I said, I've never seen The Housemaid. It's great. It's a great thriller. It just
we sacked ours.
Yeah. Well, you rich people do,
Oh yeah.
And then Tony says, many years since I saw Birdman of Alcatraz on TV. Yeah, it's a classic. It's just something I had to have in my collection. I absolutely love it. And then Slipknot says, Jim Jamo, how's it going? And then Tony says, that's a fun film, James. No sex, please. Like a carry-on crossed with a farce. Yeah.
Actually, that's what they were, because they come from an era of things like Up Pompeii, Up the Chastity Belt, No Sex, Please with British.
Yeah.
I think even Dick Emery had one.
Oh, I like Dick Emery, but it's sad.
He had one where he played several characters.
That's it. That's the best way. It's the only way of seeing Dick Emery's range of characters.
They were all like Something Happened to Me on the Way to whatever it was. They were all sort of like those types of films.
Yeah.
There was a glut of them in the early 70s, late 60s.
Yeah, it's a good, fun film. So let's say it's not. I mean, Ronnie Cobb is good. It's good to see Ronnie Cobb.
To be quite honest, it actually comes from a play.
Yes, yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, I remember.
Which is where Up Pompeii comes from, Up the Chastity Belt. They're all what used to be in theaters.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and there was Up the Front, wasn't there? The war one.
Up the Front.
Yeah.
Was it Ned Sherrin?
Ned Sherrin? I've heard that name.
That's the one who found Frankie Howard and to put him into Up the Chastity Belt, and then that turned into Lurkio and all of that.
Up Pompeii, all that stuff, yeah.
Because he did one in medieval times, didn't he? He used to. I remember Frankie Howard came on and says, "They call me Lurk a lot because I do."
Yeah.
You got to imagine it done in his voice. And it just always used to make me laugh. They call me Lurk a lot because I do. But that's quite good.
Oh yeah, yeah, genius. And then David says, "I love the old movies. Someone on chat recommended Witness to the Prosecution. So I grabbed it on Eureka for the weekend. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then we've got Denny. You say popped in. Hi, Adele and Ian. Just saying hello. I'm currently at work. Well, thank you.
What did I say? He told me that he finishes work at 10 o'clock on my phone the other day, and it's 1 minute 10. I told you we'd get to that when he's just about to come back on.
Yeah, there you are.
Well, far off, was I? And that reminds me, I've got to go and check on my mum now, haven't I? Because it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So Tony says, Is that the Charles Lawton one, David? Never seen it. Been tempted to get it. Yes, that is Charles Lawton's interesting. And then Tony's, he says, sorry, hi, Denny. And then Denny says, hiya, Tony. Cheers, guys. Later, Del. And then we've got Jim Jam saying, hello, Denny. And then we've got Muckman Movies. Paul McGann has quite a big role in Alien 3. Yeah, I could remember it. Yeah, it's. I should go and watch Alien 3 again. It's a lot. It's quite a while ago since I saw it, but I liked Alien 3 because it seemed to get a lot of people going against it, as a film, and I enjoyed it. And there's more extended versions. I must check it out and take more notice. And then David says, yes, Tony, is believe it is good, isn't he? And yes, Si says, I loved him in With Nail and I. Yeah, it's just always mentioned, that film. It's one of those films. And then Muckman Movie says he plays Golic, who lets out the alien after they've captured it. Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. And then Tony says several McCann brothers star in The Hanging Gale, a TV drama set in Ireland at the time of the potato famine. I've not heard of that one. Interesting period in Irish history, that, the potato famine. And then Tony says, have you seen Charles Lawton in Hobson's Choice, David? Worth a watch if you haven't. Yeah, Hobson's Choice. I really enjoyed that. As John Mills, of course, in that as well. Charles Lawton. It's one of those great British films, and I think it's had a fairly recent re-release, hasn't it? I think I've seen it. It could be on a Blu-ray or even a 4K. I don't know, but I've certainly seen people mentioning showing it. Tony, yeah. Great 4K picture quality on a copy of My Human Centipede. Oh God, that film! Yes, a nightmare. Great quality. I hope not too quality. You don't want to the things you don't want to see in that film. And then I have the Eureka release of Crisscross. Another goodbye, brilliant. I'm glad you got that, Eureka. I have the Eureka release of Chris Cross, another good Burt Lancaster film. David says, you absolutely great, absolutely wonderful. I love Burt Lancaster. And then Dave says, no, Tony, I haven't seen Hobson's Choice. And then Tony says, it's on Studio Canal Vintage Classics, David. Oh, yeah. And I'd like to get some of them. I will eventually. I have got a few. I've got a few vintage classics, but there's a lot of good ones. And then Si says, have you seen that Ridley Scott is planning to make Treasure Island as his next film? Hugh Jackman is lined up to play Long John Silver. Really? Wow. There's been a lot quite older versions of Treasure Island, haven't there? That might be interesting. We'll see what happens. Tony, thank you. I'll take a look on Amazon. Dave says, Delboy, says, I heard Ian Hill was playing Long John Silver. Thank you very much. I knew he'd say that. What can you do? What can you do with that? And then the England game has been postponed till 10 p.m. kickoff due to bad weather. Hey, well, that's a good start, isn't it? Yeah. And then Tony says, prefer AD 72 to Satanic Rites, Stephanie Beecham rather than Joanne Lumley. I think I get you on that. Yeah. I think if I had to choose, I would choose AD 72. I feel that the last one is just sort of you can tell it's the end. Really, it just doesn't. It doesn't have a good feel about it in the same way. It's entertaining, but it doesn't feel that. I think you're right. AD-72 is a better one. It's the first one, I suppose. Yeah. For me, Unforgiven is the best film Clint has ever directed. Wow, that's quite a big statement. That, but I don't know. I was very impressed with it. It's a first time watch, and I thought it was a fantastic film. So I can't fault his direction at all. And then James says, I've gone off Clint Eastwood since I found out he's a Trump supporter. Yeah, well, there's a lot of things. I just look at what they do. Doesn't matter really too much. I'm afraid this does happen. There's people who you might not agree with the politics, but if I like the art, what they do, then I still enjoy. It doesn't put me off what they're producing. So even though he may be a Trump supporter, I still it's not going to deflect from the enjoyment of his films at all.
Quick update. My mum wants to watch the first half of the football, and it doesn't start till 10. So
yeah, that came up on here. Yeah, I didn't know it'd been delayed.
I can't stop my mum. I just turned around and said, "Look, she'll probably fall asleep by the time that I'm in there to turn the telly off." So I just went, "All right, but I'm going to get in trouble tomorrow. I know I'm going to get in trouble tomorrow. She'll be sleeping all during the day, and it'll be my fault."
Yeah. Yeah. And I bet England will play badly. They seem to be playing badly. They'll send your mum to sleep anyhow, probably the way they play.
I just think to myself, how did ITV fill 2 hours of Ian Wright just talking?
They've had, yeah. I wonder how they've done that.
Because I've been bored senseless.
Yeah, I suppose he'd just talk about his own career. Yeah, I was a really good player at Arsenal, wasn't I? I was absolutely brilliant. I was top scorer for this and that. Just talk about himself.
And he's been in the news a lot, hasn't he? He's turned around and said it's a complete farce how the Americans are holding this this tournament up, and with referees not even being able to enter the country, and certain countries having to be in Mexico and go across the border before they can be in it, and all sorts.
Yeah. Have you noticed every year, every time there's a World Cup, we always get some controversy. Every year, every time there is one, there's always something. Si says he's in his 90s. He's obviously a Republican at that age. Yeah. I think he has been for quite a while a Republican.
I mean, I haven't watched all of his films, but his later films, should I say? And as long as he's not bringing in his political views,
he does. I don't think.
I don't really care.
I'm saying, I don't think he has done. You've never felt
not like Russell T Davies.
Yeah, you never felt you've been preached at, do you?
No.
I mean, we all love the idea of, like the Dirty Harry views, but at the time, people were quite appalled at what, somebody saying taking the law into their own hands and all that. That was considered quite, controversial, to say the least. And then Tony, never knew that, Jamie. Quite a lot of high-profile film people are against him. There we are.
That's Trump, not East. That's Trump, not East.
Yeah, I know. Against, well, they are. I mean, that you tend to you hear more about the people who are normally against him. But
we have to remember here that we later on in life, hear about our heroes. I mean, two of the biggest ones I know are Charlton Heston.
He was
John Wayne with their gun laws.
Yeah. Oh, I love Charlton Heston, but he was
and to be quite honest, it doesn't stop me from enjoying watching their films.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have to say.
I agree. Yeah. I actually, John Wayne. I've said it before. It's John Wayne in all the films, but it's John Wayne. He's not. I don't think he's as good an actor really as we make out, but he's just an iconic figure. So Tony says Musk has overtaken Trump as #1 bogeyman. Heard he's attempting to create unrest via his exploit. Oh, that's what's his name? Oh God,
Musk.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I was trying to think. Yeah, Musk. Yeah, he's via his X platform. So today his father was meeting him in Russia.
Yeah.
He's paid by Israelis and Russians. Is him. I don't even like to mention his name. He's just a thug.
Yeah.
And then Tony says, "You're right, Ian. The latest spaghetti westerns from the early 70s onwards declined in quality considerably, in my opinion. They tried making too many, I think. Yeah, it's sad. That I think that's what happened. You're right. Definitely.
Although I did like that John Wayne film, which had the guy from the Waltons in it, The Last Gunslinger or something, where he was dying of cancer.
Yeah. I don't think that was a spaghetti western, though.
No. Oh, sorry. I was thinking about westerns, not spaghetti.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, I like that one. It's a more traditional one. It's good. It's a very good. It was a poignant one because of it, knowing that he had cancer.
You know what? Again, I think I saw that on Moviedrome.
Yeah, but it was powerful and it was good. I mean, he was a terrible. Quite often in his personal life and on stories here about John Wayne are not very favourable, but it doesn't stop me enjoying some of his films. Definitely, I enjoy some of his films, but I know he wasn't always a very nice person. Certainly, there's a lot of racist stuff that he was allegedly said. Sidney Poitier, I think, said he wasn't very nice to him. He was clearly racist. So that's how it is, unfortunately. And then Tony just brought Absolution, Quiet Place, Day One, and Hobnob's Choice. My movies for the weekend. Well, I hope you enjoy them. I think Absolution is great. Quiet Place, Day One. Yeah, I think that's quite good as well. I think I've got that. It's the follow-up, isn't it, to Quiet Place? We see how it all began, which is quite good. It's seen before. I think there's a third one which I haven't got and not seen. I must get around to that one. And Hobnobs, I've not seen that one. I don't know that one.
Is that Hobson's Choice? Hobnob's Choice. Sounds like a biscuit commercial.
Yeah, I was just going to say a biscuit, but I don't know. I don't know that one. But yeah, enjoy. I'm sure you'll enjoy all your films. Brilliant.
Oh, he will. Yeah.
Tony says, "Sounds good, David." And then Tony says, "Only seen Firefox on TV many years ago." Yeah, well, Delboy explained quite a bit there. I've not seen it for a very long time.
That's what I was trying to get at. Is nobody talks about it, do they? It's sort of like it's so bad we're not going to talk about it. But actually, we go back to certain bad films and they're talked about all the time.
And they might think it's not as bad. Yeah. I've probably not seen Firefox since the 80s, so he says. David Marshall says, got my beers in for the World Cup. 18 cans of Foster's by Eck for a tenner. Oh, in Tesco's. No wonder pubs are closing. Actually, you are right. If you went into some pubs, they'd be charging a hell of a lot.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, though, isn't it? They'll have to get an entertainment's license to be able to show it.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have to be able to be open later than the 11 o'clock close.
And there's more games, isn't there? There's a lot of games. that could show, and it'll be on. I presume it's going to be on pretty late now, isn't it? It's going to carry well into night, isn't it? Some of these, yeah. Here's a question I've heard people saying: who do you think will win the World Cup? My bet's on Spain. Yeah, France and Spain are always the favourites.
Well, you've got you've always got the ones, haven't you? The Spain, Brazil,
and England are probably considered semi-finalists. I would say. I'd say England will be considered semi-finalists.
When it was under Southgate, you see, because he got them to semi-finals and finally a final, you know, in a tournament.
It looked rating.
He's not there now.
No, I know, but sometimes they go on performances, don't they? And ratings of how the previous finished. Though we haven't had a very good build-up, have we?
No,
been very good. I suppose people are hoping for the miracle that once we get to a tournament, we start to improve. But we'll see.
The BBC did this really nice thing on Southgate, actually.
Oh, they did a play.
It was a 4-part drama called Dear England or something.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
I watched it. I quite liked it. It had Jodie Whittaker in it as well. I like this clock that they had in the training rooms that said how many days it was to the World Cup or something.
Oh, yeah.
And he said it's not a sprint; it's a marathon. And you see, he said, "What does England mean to you?" And there was lots of this prominent stuff, and apparently these were all based on actual events that he actually did do, and they were quite pertinent. It's, you know, he says the problem that we've got is the world's on our backs, and yet we haven't done anything since 1966, and it's always we're doomed to fail, or we're not going to get very far, or we're going to win it this time, and it's one of two camps.
You always say that,
and you're a young squad that I'm bringing in, and I want this to be your time to shine. And it's what it means to you, and if those ideals don't meet this, then don't be in the squad, because you know there's going to be a lot. And they showed a lot of the things, like the racism that went on when those penalty kicks got taken, and they were the two new sort of black footballers, wasn't it? Saka and all of that, and the stuff that was being scrawled on walls, and all of this sort of stuff. But it was really interesting to watch, and it was fun. It was nice to see. I think it was Fiennes that was playing Southgate, and they had a really young Harry Kane played by, I've forgotten who it was played by now. He looked just like him. I was going, Jesus, they really got some good people in this. I thought it was a drama well done. That was all.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. And then we've got Jamie saying Ben Affleck is a good actor director. Yeah, The Town, Argo, Gone Baby Gone, all good films. Yeah, that's a good name to mention.
And not many people talk about his directing as an actor. Director. They'll talk about his Meet the Fockers and all of that sort of stuff, and Along Came Polly and all of, but they don't really talk too much about his direction. I agree with that. He's a good actor, director.
And another one that Si mentions here, John Krasinski is just starting to get into directing with the Quiet Place films. He's one to keep an eye on. Oh, that's good. So he's at the beginning. And then Dave Marshall, I fancy the French maybe. Alain Delon is up front for them.
Yeah.
We have to get in.
I fancy a bit.
There we are.
I fancy a bit of French and all. But there you go.
Not Saunders.
I mean toast.
I thought you'd fancy.
See, dirty-minded people again. You see.
I thought you'd. Anyhow.
Don't keep going on about me and Goldsmith if you keep bringing in Delon and all of that sort of shit.
Yeah. Well, I have to do it. He brings it in his videos.
We haven't had Peter Pincushion in yet, have we yet?
No, not yet. And then they're laughing, and there we've got it here. David, it's Allons Delon. There you are.
It's not at all. It's not at all.
It is. And then Ian and Del, will you still do the chat next week with the big England versus Croatia games kickoff at 9 p.m.?
In my opinion, absolutely. But I don't know about Ian.
I don't know. We'll talk about it. I do like watching England games.
Yeah, it's totally up to Ian. I'm a guest.
Because all I'd say is if England are playing, I didn't know it was next Wednesday, and against Croatia, that's a big match as well. I personally will be wanting to watch it. So if that's the case, then we'll move it to Thursday. I've said that we'll move it to Thursday if that's the case. But I'll check if that's true. I'll check it all out now. But yeah, I mean that's a big game. It's a cracking game to start off with against Croatia. Especially as if
maybe a lot of live streams will be doing the same.
Yeah.
Moving things to the next day or moving it before.
It's special. It's a World Cup. You know, I know not everybody might be a football fan, but even a lot of people who are not always as interested in football, sometimes when you get World Cup and Euros, people just enjoy, following the country. And that's what I'll do. You know, if England get knocked out, it's always you feel, oh dear,
Oh yeah, and I'll tell you what, everybody's turning around and saying, "Oh, I've got another 2 weeks of this tournament, and ITV are going to show all of them, and I ain't going to be watching them."
Right, of course, the BBC and ITV have a fight, don't they? Who shows which live?
Yeah,
I don't know who's showing that live, but at 9 p.m. as well. It's a bit later, isn't it? But I suppose it's going to be different, isn't it? The times. Anyhow, so yeah, if that's the case, then we will definitely be doing it on a Thursday. Yeah. And then Ian and Del, we'll still the chat next Wednesday with the England. Yeah. No, we'll still do it because 9 p.m. is too early for the way we go on. We'd have to start really early. Now. It's not possible, I don't think, for Delboy anyhow.
No, it'd be a bit difficult.
So that won't be wondering.
I'll tell you like this: my mum's watching the football now. It's 20 past 10.
So there you are. Yeah, it's football time. Yeah, and then just wondering if you both want to watch it. Well, I think we've said that. So don't worry, David. We will come back on the Thursday and do it. So do you guys like restoration videos? My go-to restoration videos are the ones that feature cleaning and repairing of old Nintendo and PlayStation video game consoles, also on handheld game consoles. I have seen some of these restoration videos, but more of, I'm not a big fan. It's not something that, but I've seen them where they get a moldy video VHS tape and they clean it up. They strip all the tape down and clean it up and that, which is quite interesting. But I haven't really gone into all the sort of repairs. Do you watch any of those repairing videos?
Probably too many, really.
Oh, said it. You've said it. Yeah.
No, it's just that, anybody that sort of like watches the blog know I watch Techmoan and all of that sort of stuff, and he talks about old hi-fi. But then as soon as that finishes, there's an advert up and it will say, I bought this CD player from a thrift shop. Can I fix it? Right.
Right, yeah.
And then I'm forever seeing the guy turning around and getting the screws and can't find the screws. Yeah. And then he's clipping off the front, and then he gets the drawer out, and then he's changing the bolts, and then he's putting the grease on the bloody wheels, and then he's doing some soldering. And you got to remember, I come from a background where I used to do a bit of soldering myself, and at school we used to use breadboards for electronics, and working out how series circuits work and all of this sort of stuff. So, and with me and computers, I like seeing people trying to repair a Spectrum or a Commodore 64.
Do they ever show any failures?
Oh
Or is
yeah.
everything successful?
No,
Yeah.
no. There's always somebody that will be there saying, "Right, I've got this spectrum to fix," and when they get to the end, it's like, "Well, it's still got a fault, but I'm happy with where I've got to, and I'll probably come
Right.
back to it in a later video and come
I
back."
get it. Yeah.
And
So
then
there
they
is.
usually that, but these people usually are they've got a spares thing.
Yeah.
They've got an old board that they've taken to bits already, and they'll take a capacitor off of it or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and put that on. And you mostly find that they fix them. I like the ones that do laserdisc players.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very interesting. The laserdisc player is so over-engineered; it's unbelievable. Especially dual players where they have to go out the back of the unit. I didn't know this. I had to look up my own. When I looked at my own laserdisc player, it's quite right. It's got a hump back at the back, right? And I was going, why does that stick out? It's because the head has to turn itself round and go along and then go back in on itself. So that, it doesn't go into the main circle in the center and then go around like that. It goes out the back and then it is like a conveyor belt.
Yeah.
It goes out the back and the head goes round and around the other side. So you learn an awful lot about what you're. The other thing is that like anything, when I was a kid and I used to go into the arcade, places, on say at Blackpool or whatever it is, right? They had these big massive units, right? That you played on. When you take them to bits, there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
It's all plywood.
Huh.
You got a telly at the top, you got a board, and
Yeah.
the most parts of the electronics is the coin mechanism. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, it's air, and these things cost £4,000 or £5,000 back then, which was no short amount of money. And what you're doing is you're paying for a telly and a board, really, and a coin slot.
Yeah.
And they still, I mean, and that's totally in contrast to a pinball machine. You take a pinball machine and you just turn around and say, "I'm never buying one of those," because I tell you what, there's too many things that could go wrong with it.
Yeah.
Bloody hell! Bumpers, rubber bands, lights, sounds. The number system that clicks round. You just, it's just ridiculous in comparison.
Yeah.
And yet they sort of were the same sort of money back then when you were going into an arcade. So it's just you think to yourself, your DVD player must have a load of electronics in there. It's empty.
Yeah.
It's got no wonder they're light.
Yeah, they are.
You know what I mean? You pick them up, bugger all in there.
Yeah.
And then they turn around and say, £499, please. And you're going, shit.
Do you remember them old VHS recorders? Those massive ones. Those big blooming. They were heavy. They must have been full of all sorts of stuff.
Most of it is probably because of the heavy heat sinks that were in there, not because they got hot, but because they had to have what they call FDC regulations, where the signal couldn't go through. You had to protect frequencies.
Yeah.
So they had this heavy metal shielding over it.
Yeah.
So that there's no frequencies going to your amps and everything else and causing all sorts of problems. That's why we got rid of. It took a long time, but CRT monitors got out of the way because there was a bloody great big electric gun firing at you.
Yeah.
Bloody phosphorescent gun shooting at you. You must have radiation poisoning. No wonder they were saying if you were pregnant, don't sit in front of a monitor for a long time because you'll probably have a deformed baby, and that's because you had a bloody great big gun being pointed at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you don't have that with LCDs, LEDs.
No.
OLEDs, etc.
Yeah. Right. Let's have a look. Si says, I love watching the watch restoration videos on YouTube. I find them so relaxing. Tony says,
I'll tell you what, the other thing that they do, they make me want to get back into soldering. And I used to do it, and I haven't done so because I know I'd need an oscilloscope. I'd need a soldering gun. I'd need a de-soldering gun. I'd need a heat gun. I'd need glue, snot glue for some of the wires that you need to put down. It would take up everything.
Yeah,
and an awful lot of money. Even though you can buy a soldering iron for real cheap these days.
Yeah.
It's just all the other stuff that you'd need to diagnose the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then Tony says, I have a bootleg DVD of dozens of Pearl and Dean cinema adverts.
Weren't they good? Weren't they good, the adverts? You had Westlers, hot dogs, you had, butter kiss, rah, 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 you had all of that.
Oh, yeah.
The Summit of Bengal, the Curry House of Bengal. I found out that actually when you went into a Canon cinema and it was always the Taste of India. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Taste of India, right? It was the same pictures, but it was advertising the local.
It was. The local one
in your area.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There I was thinking, I've never met this guy in my hometown. Where does he live, I wonder, right?
Yeah.
He could have been anywhere, really, because to be quite honest, they were the same bloody pictures. And they were, nothing like your local curry house.
Some people who have these like home cinemas, I bet they do have the Pearl and Dean stuff that they show before they're projecting their own stuff. That'd be really cool, wouldn't it? Be really good. And then Rocket Bunny, hello Rocket Bunny, good evening all. Just got home. Pizza in the oven, the middle-aged dynamic duo on the screen. Finally feels like Wednesday.
Do you know what?
Everyone is well.
Do you know what? I nearly spat my water out then. First of all, hello, Rocket Bunny. But I nearly spat my water out then because I thought to myself, by the time we've got to this, it's burnt. I only took it out of the oven. I tell you what, it'd be cremated. It'd be bloody cremated now. I mean, it'd be bloody gone. It'd be cinders.
And Sai says, hey, Rocket Bunny. And then Muckman says, howdy, Bunny. Then, hi, Rocket, middle-aged. Yes. And then we've got Slipknot saying, Cyroson, are any of those watch restoration videos from Elliot Cole by any chance? He does Game Boy mods and restoration. But I've seen he started doing wristwatches too. Blooming heck, recently wristwatches. Yeah,
I have actually watched a couple of his, but I don't watch him religiously. There's a guy that I don't know why I watch him really. I think it's called Des Fix or something, right?
That's right.
I think he's a pub landlord, but he's doing lots of. He tries to make things funny, right? He's always going, when was the last time I burnt a board, and he's got a calendar and he says, I have to put it back to zero because I've just got to burnt the board on this one, because he gets his heat gun out and all of this sort of stuff. And he's always repairing things. Like somebody has sent me in this there was one from 2 weeks ago, this Cyberman guard, and apparently it won't move anymore and it doesn't make any sounds anymore, and I'm wondering if I can fix it. So, and I watch it and I go, because he's always got a very low confidence, because he gets his electronics wrong sometimes. Is it a capacitor? Is it a power regulator? Am I talking about a farad now? All of this sort of stuff. Yeah. I know he knows more than he does. He makes a jokey of it, but it is quite good. But he repairs such tat compared to some of the others.
Yeah.
He was looking at what was it the other day? It was a hair dryer he did. I'm not interested. There was one which was a Rubik. No, I'll tell you what, it was a handheld Tetris electronic game that you twisted round. And it was like, oh my God, what the hell is he what's the hell is he looking at now? Awful stuff he repairs. But there you go.
Right. Then we've got Jamie McMahon Movies, met Fred Williamson and Heather Longcamp at the weekend. Both very nice, although Heather thought I was from Scotland. Yeah, I saw the video. Yeah, nice video.
Yeah.
Jamie.
As seen in a YouTube video 2 days ago, you advertising cheat you.
But yeah, it looked really enjoyable. I must admit, I was quite jealous. I thought it was really it was a bigger one than you went to previously. There was a lot of stuff there. And some of the artists, this artwork that they do, you know, they create is absolutely fantastic. And the t-shirts they produce and all these posters and some great stuff.
My friend Jambon went to the same thing.
Yeah.
He went to the same thing. I said, bloody hell, you probably bumped into each other.
Yeah. Well, he did bump into some friends, didn't he? Jamie. Yeah.
Yeah, but he wouldn't know my mate Jambon, I don't think.
No. But some that Jamie knew he bumped into, yeah.
See, Jambon, you see, is sophisticated, you see.
Oh, dear.
I'm only joking. I'm only joking, remember? I do my little rants, you know.
And then here we have Tony saying, seeing Fred Williamson in several black exploitation films from the 70s, yes. And then Sai says, no, they're from Vint Watchers and Red Dead Restoration. And then Sai says, Heather Langham is amazing, yes. And then can't believe Fred Williamson is still going conventions at the ripe old age of 88. Wow. Yeah, he was good. He was good. That was really good. 88 though. She was really nice, Slipknot, James says.
Eddie on.
Tony says, I saw a YouTube video of William Shatner signing photos at a convention recently. Look really fed up. Wonder why he still does it at over 90 if he's not enjoying it. That's a good question.
Actually, I've seen a few of his just recently, and one he was actually enjoying himself. I wonder sometimes if sometimes it might be he's overexerting himself a little bit. Doing it could be things that are going on in the background, and it could also be the same bloody questions coming.
And also, he may have been doing it for 3 days running.
Yeah.
So if you're on your last day, you might be absolutely tired and fed up at the same questions and what have you. I don't know. I don't know the circumstances, but
I have to say though, I do understand. Sometimes I've seen him; he looks a right miserable old sob.
Yeah.
But then there are other times where I've seen him really enjoying himself, and he even says at the end, "I'm only doing these things because of you guys. Thanks very much." And he's very, nice.
Yeah.
About it all. He's deaf as a post. Yeah. What? Speaker? You got a microphone in front of you. Speak into it. Like that.
And then James says, "Yeah, he should be minted." Isn't Shatner almost 100? Yeah. So cool. Just checked out Vint Watchers. So he's a big Rolex fan. And Jamie says Delboy rap incoming. He is people sending their watches to be restored. And then Rocketman says Tony Hawk's middle-aged is pushing as far as I know, but I'm trying to be nice at least at first. Yeah, I like me middle-aged. Yeah, it is pushing it for me, I suppose. Differently.
You middle-aged?
I'm not middle-aged, but he said
no, you old fart.
I'm an old pensioner now.
Yeah, you old fart. What's all that about?
You're a middle-aged old bugger.
I'm not middle-aged. If I'm middle-aged, then basically I'm going to be 150, 16 or something.
You're still an old bugger. Yeah. Then Sai says, we all know why Dell is in New York with his VPN. Oh.
Dirty-minded devils.
You dirty old man.
Dirty old man.
You have to do step toe.
Yeah.
I wish you could do his face.
Well, he did that, didn't he?
Laugh out loud. Perv, we get that. and then laughs again. We're laughing. And then Delboy says, to be honest, it actually aids with no adverts on YouTube for my phone. There
It's
you
quite
are.
true.
Yeah. And to be fair, I was in Buenos Aires for the cheap subscription fee for YouTube.
Yeah, because if you've got a VPN, you go to other countries, and basically you can subscribe on there, and then basically it covers your account. So there's a lot of reasons for VPNs. That's why I think the government wants to stop the use of VPNs.
Yeah. Well, my VPN was, Sai says, I watched, this is Jamie, I watched Dead of Winter, Emma Thompson, the other night. It was an entertaining thriller set in a frozen Minnesota countryside, but actually filmed in Finland. Oh, right. It sounds in Finland. Yeah, good.
I thought he said I watched Emma Thompson in The Dead of Winter the other night. I thought, what, your back garden?
Yeah, oh dear. And then Rocket was saying, I haven't seen any ads on YouTube for years since I cancelled Netflix. I subbed to YouTube Premium instead and never regretted it. Monetized creators also get their cut, unlike when people use ad blockers. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, see, I haven't got any ad blockers on my phone or anything.
Yeah. And then I've heard good things about Dead of Winter. I've added it to the list. That's good sizes. And then Tony,
how come in the summer we talk about the winter, and in the winter we talk about
summer? Well, it's just we're British, aren't we? Tony, your avatar reminds me. I really need to get that Years of Lead box set watched. All right, okay. And Tony says, have you had it since it came out, Jamie? Must be several years ago now. Well worth watching, in my opinion. Rarely a boring moment in those Italian crime thrillers. Yeah, I do like those Italian crime thrillers myself. I think they're good.
Come into a box through Royal Mail to Ian Hill.
Yeah. And then
next week.
Monksman said, also watched Black Bag, directed by Soderbergh.
Yeah.
It's an ultra stylish and sexy, I hope, spy thriller. Can't remember the last film that looked as good. The set and costume designs were stunning. Oh, right.
Call me a perv.
Yes, it says sexy.
Stylish and sexy spy thriller. Looking good.
And then Tony, I bought it a few months after it was released, but not even opened it yet. Well, get it open, lad. Yeah, buy it.
I can't say anything. I've still got to watch this train. I've got to watch this train to what you call it yet. So
yeah, you have. Yeah, what you call it? It's a good film title. The Train to What You Call It.
Well, I forgot what it is. Train to Busan. Yes, there you go.
It sounds like some sort of sub carry-on film, doesn't it? Train to What You Call It.
No, so I'll tell you what it sounds like. The Enid Blyton Famous Five. Famous Five take a train to whatchamacallit. Five go on a train together or something.
Yeah. Oh dear. Going through unwatched giallos at the moment. Halfway through, the Red Queen kills 7 times. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. These titles always, I love them.
I'll tell you what, mass murder on a chess game. The Queen. Yeah. Bloody hell.
There was a ton of giallo stuff at the convention on Saturday. Lots of stuff I've never heard of. I know I saw it as well, and you were looking through. Has anyone seen the giallo film, The Fifth Chord? I had it for a while, but never watched it, Sai says. And then Tony says, most of the titles are so unusual, some don't have any recognizable connection to the film. Yeah, that's true. That rings a bell, Sai. I think I may have it in an Arrow box set. Is it with Franco Nero? Tony says. And then, yes, Franco Nero is in it. There you are then. He plays a newspaper reporter. Watched it ages ago. And then Rocket Bunny, I couldn't comment while you were talking about Unforgiven. I'm not a Western fan, but that's one of the very few Westerns I own, and I've watched it multiple times. It's a beautiful film. Rocket Bunny continued. Um, oh, can you see where the continuation is of Rocket Bunny?
Don't know how far back it is. Hang on.
Yeah,
straight afterwards.
Is it? Oh, right. Okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry, it jumped
Bloody
again.
hell, man! What is it? Is it you go to sleep or what?
No, honestly, it jumped up with the thing, and I had noticed. Yeah. It shows you I probably don't think it. Ackman's character is a masterclass in how to write and act a villain. He always believes he's fair and just leader of the town, but ruthless delivering in front of you. Like, so that's a good way of
except the film that I mentioned afterwards.
And the fifth chord is supposed to be very good, Si. And then watch The Quick and the Dead. There you are. You mentioned that.
Remember, I've told you about The Quick and the Dead. He actually comes out and says one of the best lines in any film. He says, he tells the whole of the town, "You only see the sunlight because I allow you to see the sunlight."
That's right. Yeah.
You know, I love that film.
Yeah.
I think he really hams up that villain role, and I tell you what, he enjoyed himself so much. He must have done.
Yeah. Slipman says, have you heard of a shark movie called The Black Demon 2023? I've not. I know there is a lot of shark movies, but I've not heard of that one. Si says, I watched a documentary about Movie Drum on the BFI YouTube channel the other day. It was a really good look back at the impact it had. And then Jamie says, if you like Unforgiven, I could recommend another oblique western called Brimstone, starring Guy Pearce, who was incredible in it. Yes, I've seen it. I've got it.
I better go check on my mum and this bloody football, hadn't I?
Yeah. So I Brimstone's great. I've got that one. I like it. Guy Pearce is good, excellent. And then here we are. James says, I'm boycotting the World Cup. Okay. So I says, do anyone want to see the trailer for Whale 4? It's about a diver who bumps into a sperm whale and a squid having a fight, and he gets swallowed by the whale. Oh, God. It looks crazy. It does sound the description. Rocket Bunny, not a footy fan myself. I rarely watch any games unless with others socially. Yeah, and it's not everybody's thing, football. I like it though. No, I like it when it's usually my team or my country. That's it. I do like going to see live games though. Yeah, and then James says yes. Wildfall looks entertaining. And then Si says Kraken versus Moby Dick. The version I saw of Moby Dick with Gregory Peck, I really didn't like. It's awful. I didn't like it. I was bored in it. Yeah, I know it shouldn't be in a film like that, but anyhow. And then it looks good, doesn't it? Definitely one to watch on the biggest screen possible. Yeah, fantastic. And then Rockabilly, only restoration videos I watch are tanks and aircraft. A vehicle that has been a rusty gate guard or buried in a bog after crashing for years is restored for working condition. Amazing. That is amazing when that happens. So coincidentally, I've been wanting to find a good whale creature feature. I always give you some recommendations there. Sai says, well, Whale 4 is the film for you. Brilliant. Yes, definitely. Okay, buddy. Peter is gone, Del. It's an X pizza. X pizza. Yes, it's a dead pizza. Yes, the joke we're getting them. It's dead. Dead. Hey man, Slipknot says, and then hey Slip, and then Dave said Free Willy is a good whale picture. I thought it was a porn film. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's one of those titles, yes, understandable. And then
Hang on. Did I hear the word Free Willy?
Yeah, we were just having the Free Willy joke.
Because I always used to have that joke, didn't I? I said they've
Yeah.
Hollywood have combined two films to come up with a sequel, haven't they? They've they got My Left Foot and Free Willy. It's called My Free Foot Willy.
Yeah. Yes, the old jokes are still good, aren't they?
But I'll tell you what, don't ever have an argument with your mum. I want to watch the football. You got to go to bed, mum. You got to go to sleep. I'm in bed. You got to go to sleep. I'm going to get in trouble tomorrow. I want to watch the football because it's 2 minutes from the end of the first half.
Oh, crikey, there's a lot to go yet. Then
she is not watching all of that. I'm sorry, she's got to go to sleep.
And then Rocket was shouting at his 95. Crikey, I have to say, recent TV appearances this year, he seems more alert and lively than ever. Pretty amazing, really. 95, brilliant.
Yeah, he's just recently had an operation as well because about his horse, something to do with his horse or something. And he got grown.
Seeing Size Avatar. We should have a special one of the week where we all set our avatars using a kid photo, including our host. Be quite amusing seeing how everyone looked way back when. Don't know about that. And then Not Again. And then Rocket, that would be fun. Yeah. And then I think so, Rocket, when he says, Ian, you've got brimstone because I sent you it. Of course, yes. I know.
I think everybody in bloody England has sent you a video.
That's usually my line to Ian Jamie. Yeah. And then,
that's why his shelves fell down, is because everybody in England has sent him a DVD at some point, and it must the pure weight of bloody all of the discs made his shelves fall down from you guys sending him stuff.
And then Muckman is laughing there. And then actually, I think this is the last comment at the moment, which is Sai saying Del has become the parent. Oh, crikey.
Well, sort of.
And then Rocket Bunny says, flown through the comments this week, Ian. Well done. So you want me to get everything done quickly, dear?
Has he, heck? I've stopped him from waffling on. That's what it is. Here we go. Oh, I remember this, and I remember back in the day when I had a projector, and I remember when I listened to this as a boy, and I had a gramophone. And
he's trying to do the voice as well, the voice. So, and then Sai says, so is Thursday next week? Yes, of course it'll be Thursday. Yeah, I said, I think, I didn't know the football. I would do the things with the football, but yeah, it'll be Thursday. If England get knocked out, then we'll go back to Wednesday. We'll see how it goes. But yeah.
I like the way it's definitely Thursday next week. He hadn't asked me yet. Is Thursday all right for you, Del?
I did actually. It's pretending he did. We did discuss it about football. I brought it up because I knew it would come up. But I was hoping that England wouldn't be playing on a Wednesday, but it's happened. So there we are. There's nothing I can do about it.
No, knowing us, that every game that they'll be on will be a Wednesday.
Yeah. So we'll adjust anyhow. We'll see how it goes. And
do not adjust your television set. We control the transmission. We control the horizontal. We control the vertical
limits. Yeah, which is a great series. And then we've got good night, Pearl, Dean, and everyone on the chat. Good night.
No, thank you, Jamie, and thank you for that brilliant advice.
An early bath. Good night, all. Thanks.
Well, you can all watch the second half of the football now, can't you?
Eddie Waring, it's an early bath. Up and under. And then Si says, night, night, guys. Salute to Delboy and
Salute.
A shout out to Mrs. Dell. There you are. That's very nice.
Salute.
And then, we got Rocket Bunny saying, thanks all, Sydney, and salute to our hosts. And yeah, is that the last one now? Yeah, that's it. We've got to the end of our comments.
Yeah. So I'm off in my TARDIS to watch this again.
Thank you, everyone who's contributed and put up with all the jokes. Oh, we've still got one here. I can't spell Del.
No, he can't pronounce anything. Yeah. The silly old sod.
Silly old sod. Thank you. Nice to be called. So friendly. Yeah. So anyhow, so thank you everyone that's contributed and watched us. There's 11 people. Crikey, what's happened? I always enjoy this every week doing it, and we'll be back again next week, but possibly not if football clashes. We'll move it. That's what we'll do. So it'll be Thursday. Thursday. And we'll see how it goes anyhow.
Mr. Kipling said it, and it was only Tuesday.
I picked Thursday. Yeah.
I used to like that. I asked Mr. Kipling, how do you make them ridiculously good cakes? And he says, I really don't know. I've got a really great factory that makes them all.
Oh, dear. Rocket Money Control Alt gives the title above the...
Hey, go careful. If you start hitting the button like delete, and you'll be bloody causing problems.
Anyhow, that's it. So, we'll just say our farewells as normal. Here we are.
Hey?
We're saying our farewells, wake up.
I ain't saying farewell to any bugger. I'm staying on.
Well, okay. Right.
No. Thanks to everybody. And it's goodbye. It's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
And as I always say, from Frankie Howard, who's one of my comedy heroes, salute.
And all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again. Bye.
Kermit's hand.
Bye.